What's happening, man? Y'all like my haircut, man? What's happening?
All right, well, more breaking news tonight. A man is facing
I mean, this brother obviously didn't do it, man. I don't know what the fuck she's smiling for. This brother didn't do it, man. It's just like the last night, man. If we learned anything last night, man, in last night's riveting episode, if we learned anything last night with Jeremiah Reeves, that we know this brother didn't do it, man. This brother right here, he didn't do it, man. Also, now y'all like the basement. Oh God, y'all. Now people crying. Now you crying for the basement back. Now we got niggas crying for the basement back. The basement was fine, man. Now we got niggas crying for the basement back, man. Y'all motherfuckers, man. I swear, man. I don't know what to do with y'all motherfuckers. I don't know what to do with y'all, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's it. Yeah, man. I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it, man. Eagles not gonna win, man. All this talk about the referees, that's just gonna piss the Kansas City Chiefs off, man. All this referee talk gonna piss off Andy Reid in the Eagles, man. All this referee talk gonna piss off Andy Reid in the Chiefs. All this referee mumbo jumbo. The Chiefs might score 40 points, man. Chiefs might mess around and score 40, man. All y'all did was piss off the Chiefs, man. All y'all did was piss off the Chiefs. I think we're gonna see a virtuoso performance from Patrick Mahomes. A virtuoso performance. We're gonna see a virtuoso performance, man. he ain't really had a great Super Bowl yet. I mean, a great Super Bowl. He's had some decent Super Bowls. The first one against the 49ers, he played good in the fourth quarter. You know, he played good in the fourth quarter against the 49ers. He played good in the fourth quarter against the Eagles the first time. He played good in fourth quarter and overtime against the 49ers. I think this time we're gonna have a virtuoso performance. He gonna be out that bitch looking like Doug Williams. He gonna be like, I am a black quarterback, motherfucker. Doug Williams. I think that's what we're gonna get, man. I think y'all done messed up, man. Y'all done messed up and pissed off Patrick, man. He gonna colonize. He gonna colonize the Super Bowl, man. Yeah, man.
All right, well, more breaking news tonight. A man is all right. Well, more breaking news tonight. A man is facing serious charges for sucker punching another man on a bike. And that man died from the injuries 7 years later. News 12's Nadia Galindo is outside of the 81st precinct with the details. So, Nadia, what can you tell us? 7 years apart from the incident and then their death.
Yeah, Noelle, this is just a tragic story. That man that was sucker punched was left in a coma for years. He died last year from his injuries. And today, the man police say is responsible for all of this was walked out of this precinct in handcuffs. Now, take a look at the video we shot for you just a short time.
Not a care in the world, man. You wouldn't know if that nigga just got was getting taken out the precinct for murder or goddamn shoplifted, man. You wouldn't know if this nigga had too many parking tickets or if he's a fucking serial killer, man. Yo. Niggas is fun. Niggas are funny without trying to be funny, man. They're the funniest not trying to be funny.
All of this
people.
was walked out of this precinct in handcuffs. Now take a look at the video we shot for you just a short time ago. This is 34-year-old Gary Anderson, who police arrested today. He's charged with first and second degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. Now, back in June of 2017, police say the victim, 38-year-old Domingo Diego Tapia, was riding his bike on Fulton Street in Bed-Stuy when he was sucker punched, causing him to fall to the ground. He was left with severe head trauma that put him in a coma. You're taking a look at video right now.
Oh, that was the knockout game, man. Say it. The knockout game. They trying not to say it, man. Call it what it was. It was the damn knockout game, man. If white people was doing a knockout game, y'all would make it an Olympic event. But black people do it, and you can't even say the words. Press one. This is racism. And make sure you sponsor the show, man. We need some sponsors tonight, man. Let's get some sponsors tonight, man. Support the show, man. Support the goddamn show, man. Help sponsor the show, man. How the hell we don't get no fucking sponsors over here, man? We don't get no sponsors over here. Teaching you about Jeremiah Reeves and motherfuckers you never heard of before. Ain't that a bitch? This nigga playing a knockout game, man. I don't know whether he's good at the knockout game or bad at it, man. It took the Hombrito 7 years to die, man. But he did put him in a coma, so I don't know, man. You tell me, man. Is this dude good at the knockout game or was he bad? He put the dude in a coma. You get points for that, but it took him 7 years to die, so you get deducted. You get points deducted for that. I don't know how the judge is gonna rule this one, man. The knockout game judges, man. How they gonna rule on this one, man? This nigga coming out funny as shit, though. This shit is hilarious, man.
Look at the video we shot for you just a short time ago. This is 34-year-old Gary Anderson, who police arrested today. He's charged with first and second degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. Now, back in June of 2017, police say the victim, 38-year-old Domingo Diego Tapia, was riding his bike on Fulton Street in Bed-Stuy when he was sucker punched, causing him to fall to the ground. He was left with severe head trauma that put him in a coma. You're taking a look at video right now of a vigil for Tapia back in 2017, where his wife and two young boys were praying for a recovery. Now, we know now that he died from his injuries last March. Anderson previously pled guilty in 2019 to assault for this case.
I bet his wife wasn't praying for his recovery. That's bullshit. She was praying for him to stay asleep. She done found her a new man. She was praying for his ass to stay asleep, man. She ain't want that nigga to wake up. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's been 7 years. She ain't want that nigga to wake up. She probably pulled the plug on his ass. Like, if he find out how much dick I've been taking since this motherfucker went in that coma,
praying for a recovery. Now, we know now that he died from his injuries last March. Anderson previously pled guilty in 2019 to assault for this case. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Now, the Brooklyn DA's office tells me that plea was made with the understanding that if Thapia died, more charges could be brought. Now, as for the charges that Anderson now faces, those carry a maximum sentence in prison of 5 to 15 years. Reporting from outside the...
Oh, that's why that nigga don't care. He like, man, I ain't about to do shit for 5 years for this shit. $5 years? Hey. Fuck.
Well, tonight, a D.C. man is in jail just after police say that he shot and killed his very own father in a Navy Yard apartment.
And the victim's sister is speaking only with Fox 5 tonight. Nana St. Bones, who is live at police headquarters. She has the exclusive tonight. Nana.
Guys, Daryl Smith is the name of the 61-year-old man that D.C. police officers found dead inside a unit at the Park Riverside Apartments over in Navy Yard. We actually met his sister outside the complex when police informed her that her brother had passed away. We had a chance to speak with her tonight, and she tells me she still can't believe that her nephew is the one who pulled the trigger.
I'm upset because he loved his son.
Sharon Smith says there's nothing that her brother, Daryl Smith, wouldn't have done for his children, especially 37-year-old D.
That nigga been to the joint. He got the yarn. When they got the yarn kufi, man, the nylon kufi. When they got the nylon kufi in DC, that nigga been to the joint.
Sharon Smith says there's nothing that her brother, Daryl Smith, wouldn't have done for his children, especially 37-year-old D'Angelo Goldston.
He loved all of his kids dearly, and he would always say, I die for my kids, but I never thought you would die by the hands of your kid.
Fox 5 DC was actually at the scene Tuesday evening when Smith found out that her brother passed away. Police say her nephew Goldston shot and killed his father inside the Park Riverside Apartments on 1st Street in Southeast, where Sharon was visiting her brother.
So I knocked harder and I started yelling through the door, Daryl, Daryl, Daryl. And so then his son answered and he stood back. And then I just happened to look and I saw my brother laying on the floor with a pool of blood around his head.
According to court documents, Goldston shot his father at least 2 times in front of a 2-year-old witness, his daughter, who told Sharon and police that
my dad shot my papa.
The Smith family says Daryl, who was in a wheelchair, loved to write.
The love my mom stuck to me like a pin of dot.
He shot his dad who was in a wheelchair. The fuck? The snitch, though. That's crazy. Shout out to 45 Revolver, man. He say, Rihanna, baby, stand up. Yeah, man. Rihanna babies, man. Yo, shout out to Cousin Drew, man. He said, I finally caught a live. Salute and the nation. Shout out to Cousin Drew, man. I ain't a Bert in the building. Bert. He said, salute Ock from Cali. Here's a donation to locate the VP of Ock Nation. Nick Tal been missing in action. Nah, Nick Tal smart, man. Nick Tal ain't trying to get overexposed, man. He know that, he won the vice presidency, man. And he know, it's always that period, man, between the time you win to the time you take office, man. He don't want to get overexposed, man. He'll be back, man. If he alive, man. If he's still okay, man, he'll be back, man. Yeah, they calling for you, Nick Tal. You never want to get overexposed though, because you want to you know what I'm saying? I think he going for the presidency next year, man. He trying to take fishermen out, man. Dang, this is a fucked up story. The daughter snitched like a motherfucker. He gonna be like, man, I'd have got away with it if my daughter didn't snitch. You know that nigga gonna say that shit.
Then I just happened to look and I saw my brother laying on the floor with a pool of blood around his head.
According to court documents, Goldston shot his father at least 2 times in front of a 2-year-old witness, his daughter, who told Sharon and police that
My dad shot my papa.
the Smith family says Darryl, who was in a wheelchair, loved to write.
The love my mom stuck to me like a pair of dice.
This is him rapping at his mother's funeral.
I never really knew how much my mom was worth until I realized she risked her own life to give me birth.
If he was standing here right now, he would say, let me ask you something. You like rap? And he'll just start spitting, right? He wanted to be a rapper.
I never read.
Yo, man, Darryl wanted to be a rapper, man. That's right, man, Darryl. Darryl never gave up his dream, man. He kept rapping till the day he died, man. Shout out to Darryl, man. That's the essence of hip hop, man. The rappers that never made it, man.
Own life to give me birth.
If he was standing here right now, he would say, let me ask you something. You like rap? And he'll just start spitting, right? He wanted to be a rapper.
I never raised your arm to harm your mom.
He was a really good person, he was. I'm gonna miss him. A heart of gold.
Thank you.
Now, investigators tell us that they did recover a gun at the scene. Goldston, who appeared in court yesterday, is facing second-degree murder charges, and he will appear in court again in March for his preliminary hearing. Guys.
And more.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for watching. I'm Katie Moore. A Slidell woman has been arrested in connection with the case of a Kansas City reporter who died while in town to cover the Super Bowl. Kenner police say they have video of the suspect leaving the hotel room where the reporter died. Paul Murphy has the latest on this developing investigation.
Kenner police have arrested a Slidell woman they believe may have had.
That's her wig hat, man. Those crooked cops, man, and pulled her wig off. Crooked officer. Fucking crooked officers. You crooked officers. That's the real story. Fuck the dude she killed, man. How is this still happening, man? 4 years after George Floyd, man. White America, you told me this was going to stop happening, white America. You said if I took the jab, y'all would stop killing my people, man. I took the jab and the booster, man, and y'all still pulling our sisters' wave caps off during arrest, man. Wigs and shit. Lace fronts off, man. Oh, America, why do you hate me so much? Bullshit.
Murphy has the latest on this developing investigation.
Kenner police have arrested a Slidell woman they believe may have had something to do with the death of Kansas City Telemundo correspondent Adon Manzano. Manzano was in New Orleans to cover the Super Bowl. He was found dead in his hotel room at a Kenner Comfort Inn 2 days ago.
Upon the detectives processing the hotel room, Mr. Manzano's hotel room, they had discovered that a credit card was missing. It was the same credit card that was used to check into the hotel, as well as a cell phone.
According to Kenner Police Chief Keith Connolly, detectives checked the hotel's security cameras. It showed 48-year-old Danette Colbert leaving Manzano's room early Wednesday morning.
That old Brito, he was trying to get him some goddamn sister snatch, man. That old Brito was trying to get him some sister snatch. His wife just died recently, the old Brito reporter. His wife passed away recently, man. And he out here on a business trip trying to get some sister snack, some soul sookie, man. I ain't trying to get him. He trying to. That nigga went and picked up Inspector Deck, man. How you get killed by Inspector Deck, man? That shit fucked up, man. Shout out to Daddy, man. Daddy said, got a gun up in your waist. Please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Baby. How you living, Biggie Smalls? I'm surrounded by Benzes, heavy rollers, even the shiesty individuals. Smoking blunts and mad Phillies, beating down Billy badasses, stunts and blunts, the mass. I'm getting my songs mixed up, man. How I go? I'm surrounded by criminals, heavy rollers, even the shiesty individuals. No, that's not that one. It goes, how did that one go? How did that one go? This is the one they sampled the barge, man. I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. I got lots of friends with Benzes, by the layers, true to life players. I'm getting my Biggie songs mixed up, man. Yeah, that was his hit. That was the hit that he took off. This was the joint that put him on in the stratosphere. Damn, that's a rough looking broad, man. That's Big L, man. That nigga, that Spanish dude, that Spanish reporter picked up Big L and shit. Salute to Nate Ways, man. He said salute Ock in the chat. And Nate Ways, aka Ricky Henderson, man. Shout out to Nate Ways, man. In the building. Long time no see, man. Yeah, the Ozzy Brothers, yeah. Yeah, he sampled the Ozzy Brothers on that one. That's right. No, he sampled the Ozzy Brothers. Yep. You right. You right. He said that's Daryl Strawberry. Yeah, that's the straw, man. God dog. That was one rough looking sister, Jack.
Police found Colbert in New Orleans and arrested her Thursday night. They found Manzano's credit card and cell phone during a search of her home.
Yeah, you was in over your head. You one of them square hombredos, man. He one of them square hombredos, man. He went to journalism school and shit. Done picked up goddamn Daryl Strawberry and shit for some late night loving. Left the room and shit with his drink. He said, I'm going to slip into something a little more comfortable. And then went in the back and shit, got changed into some shit. Probably was gone for like 15 minutes. It was like, you can watch TV. Here's the remote. Make yourself comfortable. And then it came out, took one sip of his drinking, and that's the last thing he remembered. That's the last thing he ever did. And she was gone. She ain't even turned him on the side. She just let him lay there, man. Dirty bitch. God damn, man. You know what, man? That's fucked up, man. You ain't shit, bitch.
Night. They found Manzano's credit card and cell phone during a search of her home. Investigators say the card had been used at several stores in the city.
It's important to note that Ms. Colbert's criminal history does include 2 instances where she drugged a victim and stole his access device cards and things of that nature.
Court records indicate Colbert has been arrested in New Orleans at least 6 times over the past 12 years. The crimes include theft, bank fraud, and second-degree battery. She also has an arrest record in Jefferson Parish and Las Vegas, Nevada. Telemundo New Orleans news director.
Damn, she an international criminal, man.
Mike Berenger said he was supposed to meet up with Manzano for an interview at the Montreal Convention Center, but he never arrived.
He was a really good reporter. I think he have a good.
How you a good reporter if he couldn't analyze the situation, man? He couldn't feel. He didn't have a feel for people, man. He couldn't read the situation, man.
He was a really good reporter. I think he have a good future in this job, and this is unfortunately is a thing that sometimes happen.
Colbert is now in Kenner custody. She's facing multiple charges, including bank fraud, computer fraud, and illegal transmission of monetary funds. Investigators say the charges could be upgraded pending the results of their investigation into Manzano's death. According to the Jefferson Parish Coroner's Office, toxicology and other tests are now underway to determine Manzano's cause of death and that there were no obvious signs of trauma. In Kenner, Paul Murphy, WW.
She ain't shit, man. That bitch ain't shit, man. Why you do the homie like that, man?
All right, so as to counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. As to count 1, pursuant to law, they sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As to count 2, attempted murder in the first degree with a firearm, a life felony, I sentence you to 40 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 3, shooting and throwing deadly missiles, I sentence you to 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 4, I sentence you to 40 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 5, I sentence you to 40 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 6, I sentence you to 40 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 7, I sentence you to 40 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 8, I sentence you to 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections. As to count 9, I sentence you to 1,473 days in the Florida Department of Corrections. I will run the sentences in counts 1 through 9 concurrently with each other. I will give you 1,473 days credit. I will run the sentences that I just imposed in 2021 CF 837. And this sentencing is happening all in the same sentencing proceeding. I imposed sentence earlier in the probation cases simply because both counsel advised me there were no additional penalty sentencing arguments. And then I'm imposing sentence now after her victim impact statement testimony from Mr. Ball's sister in this case, but it nevertheless is occurring in the same proceeding. So I'm going to run the sentence that I just imposed in 2021 CF 837 concurrently with the sentences I imposed in 2017 11673 and 2018 CF 320. So I'm running them at the same time. That is not to impose additional time on the probation violations. Well, that has the effect of it, presuming that the convictions in the instant case are not disturbed or overturned.
He killed the cheerleader, man. She smoked his boots, man. He killed the cheerleader.
Forgotten for nearly half a century. That is how prosecutors and defense attorneys describe one death row inmate's case.
KPRC2 investigates Robert Arnold has been studying the case of Clarence Jordan, who was sentenced to death but never executed. Robert is joining us now to break down what happened.
Clarence Jordan was convicted of murdering a grocery store worker during a robbery in 1977. That means when this case started, Jimmy Carter was in the White House. Here's what Jordan looked like when he first went to death row, and this is what he looks like now. He's 68. Our archives don't have video of this crime, so I went through old newspaper archives. There was an 8-sentence blurb about the murder, a little more written about Jordan being convicted, sentenced to death, trying to stab a bailiff, calling himself Father Nature, and even briefly escaping after a hearing. The meat of what happened is in the court file, and I put together a timeline. He was convicted in 1978. That conviction was overturned, but he was convicted a second time and sentenced to death for a second time in 1983. Then, in 1988, he was declared incompetent. And by that time, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled you can't execute an incompetent person. After that, the case went nowhere. Other than a couple of inquiries in 2004 and 2017, Jordan was forgotten about. Jordan even wrote his own letters to the court. I read them. They were largely nonsensical, but those letters didn't even trigger any real action. That is until this past November, when the head of Texas's Office of Capital and Forensic Writs, the public defender for people facing a death sentence, asked to be appointed as Jordan's attorney.
Should somebody at some point tried to restore his competency? Because it doesn't appear that anybody did.
One of the heartbreaking injustices in this case is that Mr. Jordan was not just forgotten. He was a person who was intellectually disabled and severely mentally ill who was forgotten. I think this is horrifying. And I think that everyone is poorly served in Texas. The victims of crime, the state of Texas, certainly people who are incarcerated when cases like this come about and when people are forgotten.
That was Ben Wolf, and he plans to argue Jordan should never have gotten a death sentence in the first place because he's mentally ill. He has a low IQ, schizophrenic, has hallucinations, along with being incompetent. Wolf says that's an issue that should have been raised decades ago, but it appears after he was declared incompetent, he was no longer represented by an attorney. Here's our meeting now with the district attorney's office.
It appears that a decision was made by his attorneys that once it was determined he could not be executed, we're just going to let him be.
Isn't the court supposed to periodically monitor someone to find out if their competency has been restored?
Yes, the courts are supposed to provide a monitoring function.
Did that happen here?
I don't know, and I don't believe so.
Do you have any concerns at all that the facts of the case don't support Jordan being guilty of this crime?
No, I don't think there's any doubt that Clarence Jordan committed capital murder. There is no doubt that Clarence Jordan was an extremely violent, dangerous person at the time of his trial. The issue is, should he be on death row? As to, is he actually innocent? No, he's not actually innocent. He did this capital murder.
And I do want to quickly point out the people in the DA's office now were not there.
Racist motherfucker. This racist motherfucker. He racist. Racist son of a bitch.
I'm joined now by the Reverend Jeff Hood, Stephen Nelson's spiritual advisor, who was with him when he took his last breath. Jeff, it's good to have you back on. Thanks for being on the show. Can you tell me?
Look at this grifter. This fucking grifter with his bald head and his big ass beard, fucking trying to look all spiritual and shit. Trying to look spiritual like a fucking goddamn a Jesus monk.
Tell me about those last moments.
Thank you, as always, for having me, Ashley. It was sad. I mean, just like all of these executions. I mean, you know, it's important to state very clearly that this is not something anybody enjoys, from the corrections officers to wardens and to, you know, all the folks that participate in these things. It's horrific. It's horrible. With that said, my time with Stephen before the execution was one of assuring him that God loves him, assuring him that he is both redeemed and forgiven.
How do you know? How do you know?
Forgiven. I think sometimes when you're a part of horrible crimes, it takes some convincing in order to believe that God might love someone such as yourself. And, you know, this is a situation that's horrible. I mean, you know, actually, I listened to you describe the crime. I mean, we're talking about a situation that was absolutely gut-wrenchingly evil. And in the midst of...
Was his wife there? And while you're telling me that, can you also tell me, was the victim's family members there?
Yes, thanks for asking. Yeah, Noah, his wife, was there. And there were certainly witnesses there for the victim's family. I just don't know. I wasn't able to tell who they were. So I do know there were witnesses there from the victim's family. From what I understand, they did not address the media, and so we don't know who they were.
I just have this last question. When I was listening to Stephen's interview bite just before I introduced you, he was so he seemed to think there was so much injustice in the victim's family members rejecting his letter. And I just kind of couldn't understand, like, injustice? You want to talk injustice? Like, did you ever get through to him about that? Were you ever able to understand why he didn't maybe understand their feelings?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the difficulty in these situations is you have folks who commit these heinous crimes, these evil acts. We don't know why they commit these acts, but they do. And I don't know how you expect someone who is capable of that type of act to all of a sudden also be capable of this, bold empathy that we expect from these guys. He's been in a solitary confinement for 13 years. He hasn't had a whole lot of people to help him get to a better place. And today, before he went into the chamber, he did mention the Dobson family, the Elliott family, and mentioned that, very much he regrets all of this. But I think that he was someone who didn't want to be told what to say or told what to do. And I think he felt that he wanted to resist until the end.
You know, Jeff Hood, you're good to join us with these observations. I'm always thankful. Thanks so much for doing this tonight.
Thank you, Ashley. It's you're always gracious and always kind. Thank you.
We'll see you again. I think that's a given, right? This is it's not the last time. Jeff Hood joining us.
Jesus Christ. Shout out to Innate Ways, man. Let's see what else is going on, man. Gouch Merlot, man. Salute, Op. That haircut is the real you. Trayvon White expelled from DC Council. Oh, wow. Trayvon, man. They got rid of Trayvon. That's crazy. They're going to burn Southeast. Southeast going to burn, man. Trayon. Yeah, Trayon. My bad. Trayon.
For the first time in its history, the D.C. Council has expelled a sitting member. Of course, the FBI arrested now former Ward Council member Trayon White back in August amid federal bribery charges. He's now been stripped of his office.
Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald watching as the vote happened live from the Wilson building.
You should have got on the Trump train, dummy. Dummy, you should have did like Eric Adams, man, and hopped on the Trump train, man. Get these fucking illegals out of D.C., man.
Tonight, it's a big step and also surprising one. Hey, Fitz.
Well, Marina, in a lot of ways, we've known for quite a while now that, with these bribery and federal charges Trayon White was facing, and now this expulsion looming over him, if he did not resign this seat on his own, well, the council was going to move to kick him off this council, and that's exactly what they did today. There are a lot of things going on right now with this former councilman. As you know, he faces federal charges after his...
That shit is shameful, boy. You ashamed. Yeah, you ashamed, man. What a shameful way to go out for this nigga, man. Young nigga from the city, man. Became a city councilman, went out like this, man. This shit shameful, man.
His arrest by the FBI back in August. He's accused of accepting more than $156,000 in 4 visits in exchange for arranging contracts for an associate. Now, during this case, he has pleaded not guilty, but that is the criminal case. This was a different procedure today, expulsion from the council. One of the council members who led the investigation, Kenya McDuffie, said today that with this expulsion move, it is not a judgment on whether or not Trayon White was guilty or innocent in his criminal case. Rather, they were deciding today whether he violated DC's code of conduct.
While this process is personally difficult for me, it is my duty as a council member. And frankly, today's action is fairly straightforward. It's not a tough question. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
Regarding the bribery allegations, and I am deeply disappointed in this violation of the public trust and know that swift and decisive action from the council is warranted today, and that expulsion is an appropriate sanction.
Now, as is his right, we should say, Trayon White decided not to talk at all today. It's the same thing he did last week when he sat at the witness table and allowed his attorney to speak for him today. After this was all over, he walked down a flight of stairs, followed by virtually the entire D.C. press corps. He was peppered with a lot of questions, didn't answer any of them. He declined to answer all of them. In fact, even when we asked him if he had a message to the people in Ward 8 who have been standing behind him and supporting him through all of this.
What do you want to say to the supporters? Nothing to the supporters?
You're not the judge or the jury. And when you hold a special election, we're going to vote them in again. Why don't they do the same?
The mammies don't play, man. If you in the wrong, the mammies going to support you, man. The mammies always going to support you if you in the wrong, man. If you up to no good, God damn, that shit is uncanny, man. Hit the like button, man. Make sure you take the $5 to the $7 channel. Support the channel, man. Support the channel, guys. We about to get into the main event, man, in a minute, man. We getting into the main event in a minute, man. We getting into the main event, man. Man.
The special election, we're going to vote them in again.
Why don't they do the same with all the other corruption that's going on here in D.C.?
This expulsion is immediate. Trayon White has already been removed from the website of the D.C. Council. There's going to be a special election held to fill this Ward 8 seat now. Because he's not been convicted of anything yet and his trial isn't until January 26th, Trayon White could run in this special election again, and if he's reelected, could wind up back on this very same council he got kicked off of today. The U.S. attorney who's prosecuting this federal case told Fox 5 they have no comment at this time. We'll have to
Jeez, they gonna vote that nigga back in. I promise you. I saw it in I seen it already with Bad Barry. They gonna vote that nigga back in. 1,000%. They are going to 1,000% vote that nigga back in. Don't even fucking worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Excuse me. Don't even worry about it, Jack. Look at that video I wanted to show y'all. Here we go.
Make one thing very, very, very clear. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure Kamala Harris doesn't win. Vote for, if you want Donald Trump to win, say that. I will vote for Satan if I have to. Remember, no one's free until we're all free. And we can't protect ourselves if we can't protect each other. This is the time for all the minorities, all the movements, all the working class to come together and really build power and really fight against the fascism that's been here, but finally popping its head out and being loud and proud about it. And unless we do something, really come together, it's going to get real bad.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about more woke wars, right? Woke wars. That's what I'm calling them. The left is imploding. They're imploding under wokeness, okay? And they've decided to double and to triple down on the wokeness. So we got to talk about the conflict, okay? Because we're dealing with communists, right? They love talking about conflict, right? That's their whole ideology. But anyways, this video is about the conflict that is currently happening among the liberal Latinos and the liberal blacks, right? Because apparently the liberal Latinos are upset with black people who are not showing up to protest against the mass deportations that are happening under the Trump administration. Now, there are a whole lot of protests that are happening right now. We've covered them, and they're mainly made up of to help protest the mass deportations. Take a look.
I think it's funny how everybody's true colors are coming out, especially the black people, because y'all are quick to forget what country you guys flee to shelter when you were slaves. You're quick to forget when black...
Shut the fuck up, you bitch. You fucking whore. They always try to say that stupid shit, like they helped blacks during the slave trade. They always try to say that stupid shit, and black people, we fucking retarded, so we don't know no different. You know what I'm saying? You can't, I can't blame her because black people are fucking retards. They don't know shit. But that's not true, you fucking whore. That's not true, you whore. More slaves went to fucking Mexico than came to the United States. Okay? More slaves went to Mexico than came to the United States. Trying to lie and shit. Fucking lying bitch. More slaves went to Mexico than to the United States. Okay? During the slave trade. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yes, they did. Yes, they did, man. The United States only got 307,000, man. The vast majority went to Brazil. This is the shortest route. Here to here is the shortest route, allegedly. Like 400,000 went to Mexico. Only 307,000 came to the United States. Now they breeded and shit and made more. And only 307,000 came from across the ocean. It's true, man. I'm telling you it's true, man. You don't believe me, do you, man? You don't believe me, man. Fucked up, man. Fucked up. You don't believe me? All right. Well, fuck you then. I'm gonna show you.
Well, hey there, and welcome back to Heimler's History. Now, if you're just joining me, we've been going through Unit 2 of the AP U.S. History curriculum, which covers the time period 1607 to 1754. And in this video, we got to talk about trade, and more to the point, we're going to talk about the causes and effects of the transatlantic trade over time. Saucy. Let's get to it. So in the late 17th and the early 18th centuries, trade really became global. So we're going to need to consider how a transatlantic economy was developed. Trans means across, and Atlantic means Atlantic Ocean. So how did a global economy develop across this ocean right here? That is an unusually perceptive question, and I've got the answer. So first, let's talk about how the trade was done. And for that, I need to introduce you to the triangular trade. It was thus named because merchant ships followed a three-part journey, which, when being sketched out, roughly makes a triangle. And it was much more complex than what I'm about to explain, but let me just give you a taste of how this worked. Merchant ships would start in New England, for example, and then carry rum to West Africa. There, they would trade rum for enslaved laborers for whom demand was spiking in the Americas. And then they would depart from West Africa and sail what was called the Middle Passage, which was famous for its brutal conditions. Now, let's stop for a minute. Before we continue on this section of the triangular route, this image is a very famous one, and you're going to see it nearly every time someone talks about the harsh conditions enslaved people had to endure on the Middle Passage. We look at that image and we're horrified by what we see, but what you almost never hear anyone talk about is that this diagram was actually a reform image. The British Parliament passed the Slave Trade Act in 1788, which limited the number of enslaved people that could be stuffed into the hull of a ship, and this diagram was the result of that reform. Like, this was the compromise. Like, stacking people like this was the better version of what was previously happening before the law was passed. So hopefully that helps you see how awful the conditions were that these Africans endured as they crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Now, back to the triangular trade. Once the ships packed with enslaved Africans arrived in the British West Indies, those slaves were then traded for sugarcane, and from there the merchant ships headed back to New England, where they traded the sugarcane for rum, and the whole thing began all over again. So that's how the transatlantic trade worked in a very simplistic form. But now we need to talk about what economic principles drove this whole dang thing. And for that,
Yeah, man. You talking about real shit, man. Mexico was heavily involved in this shit. I'm going to show you, too. They ended up in Mexico once they left the Caribbean. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. Hold on.
Yo, welcome back again today, guys. So today,
Oh no, this a nigga, man. I ain't trying to get my history from no nigga, man. I want to get my history from a white man, man. That know what really happened, man. I don't want to get my history from no nigga, man. Niggas talking about some yo and shit. Nigga talking about some damn yo.
Todas las danzas son del noroeste de África. Nosotros elegimos esa región porque nos dimos cuenta a través del internet que los esclavos que fueron extraídos de allá llegaron hasta acá, nuestro pueblo, Acoyantes, y entonces empezamos.
Shout out to Chris G, man. Day one, he says that reporter Mizano should have jacked off and went to sleep. Facts. That works every time, man.
Indagar y retomamos esas danzas.
These are the descendants of the African slaves in Mexico. They look different than us because they mix with Hombrito. They not mixed with white. A lot of these people aren't mixed with white. These people are mixed with Hombrito. These are mixed with Hombrito, man. Yeah, once they hear that beat, when the Hombritos hear that beat, they don't do shit. The Hombritos hear that beat and they like, oh, what the fuck? Who's making all that fucking noise? You can tell these is niggas. They heard that beat and they start dancing and shit. And look at their hair, their nappy, their hair is kinky.
Seguimos bailando porque intentamos dar a conocer nuestra cultura y a través del baile nosotros pretendemos invitar, atraer a los jóvenes para que se unan a nosotros y así consolidar nuestra cultura, consolidar nuestra propia identidad como pueblo negro.
In 2015, Mexican government included Afro-Mexicans. 2015. And that bitch trying to act like Mexicans is our friends and shit. Try to act like Mexicans is our friends. They didn't include these motherfuckers as Mexicans until 2015. There's 1.4 million Mexicans of African descent.
A mí me encantaría que los pueblos negros sean reconocidos para que con eso exista una igualdad de derechos y así que nosotros nos sintamos orgullosos.
Black Mexicans? Afro-Mexican history is deeply intertwined with Mexico's cultural fabric, with Africans arriving in the Americas long before the transatlantic slave trade. Evidence from archaeology and genetics now supports African migration to the Americas and the population of the world thousands of years ago, even before European colonization.
That's bullshit. Niggas ain't had no boats. That's that new pseudo-science, man. Niggas ain't had no boats, man. Niggas ain't had no boats to get across the Atlantic. That's that pseudo-science, man. They try to make a white voice. They tried to use an AI white voice to trick you. Some nigga made that video. One of them FBA niggas made that video. He tried to use a white AI voice to trick you. Press 1. Niggas ain't had no fucking boats to get over here. Niggas came over here in the slave trade, man.
¡Sale, ya están listos! ¡Arriba, vaquero!
This is the Danza de los Diablos, or the Dance of the Devils. It's performed on South Mexico's Pacific coast, the region with the country's largest concentration of Afro-Mexicans.
No es de la África la danza.
These dances don't come from Africa. They are Mexican, but these instruments are African and we make them ourselves. Now the black people have united with the local culture and mixed with the local people along this coast, and we multiplied, and there are now many black people here.
This country is home to more than 1 million Afro-Mexicans, yet these are marginalized and often forgotten communities. They represent
marginalized and often forgotten communities. Where did these motherfuckers do us any? Where was these motherfuckers? Where was all this Mexican people loving on black people, like this bitch said? Huh? Lying bitch. I told you that bitch was lying. See, I would have been like, help y'all, man. Well, fuck you lied, bitch. They didn't do nothing good for those niggas down there. They've been fucking abusing them niggas the whole time.
around 1% of the national population. Mexico's 2020 census is the first ever to include Afro-Mexican as an ethnic category. Mexico's legacy of slavery began hundreds of years ago.
The slaves in Mexico were in the places where there was mining. This town was founded around the year 1800, most likely by fugitive slaves who escaped to the coastal regions where they could survive on what they found here.
Yeah, the slaves escaped from Mexico to Mexico, motherfucker. Not from America to Mexico. The slaves was already in Mexico. They escaped and started their own little villages.
Today, that original African culture still exists in the states dominated by indigenous tradition.
Yet this stretch of coastline between Oaxaca and Guerrero states is an impoverished part of the country. There's not much tourism here, and local industry doesn't extend far beyond fishing and agriculture. Yet few Black Mexicans leave to seek better opportunities, and those who do find the wider country not very welcoming.
Indeed, for Rosa Hernandez, the lead councillor of Santo Domingo Armenta, the Afro-Mexican experience is isolating.
We're a vast minority in this country, so that's why many people have never heard of us. They think we're from another country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're Black. But we are Mexicans. From another country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black or from another country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. Country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. But we are Mexicans, and it's only fair that they recognize us, that they value us as much as anyone else.
As the Black Lives Matter movement around the world seeks change and equality for Black Mexico, the challenge for these communities is still at the point of showing they exist. Alistair Baverstock for CGTN.
This is one of the first free Black towns in the Americas, San Basilio de Palenque, Colombia. Listen to the drums, explore the murals, and study the dancing. It was founded around 1603 by self-liberated Africans who escaped from the slave ports of Cartagena, Colombia. Spanish colonizers relentlessly tried to destroy this town, but centuries later, it's still standing. And this is the only Black president Colombia has had. They purposely erased him from history books. Government officials even sent his official presidential portrait to Paris to whiten his appearance. You may not have expected to find stories like these in Latin America. See, the dominant narrative is that racism doesn't exist in the region, just class issues. And I'm here to tell you that is a lie.
Pero es que no hay negros en la Argentina.
It's a very convenient cop-out for Latin America and for Latinos, Latinas to say, well, it's not as bad as the U.S., and they're right. It's worse.
This is a story about Latin America.
Yo, you niggas gotta stop acting like y'all got it bad in the U.S. The U.S. is the best place. The U.S. is better than Africa for niggas, man. Niggas gotta stop that shit, man. Anytime somebody say that America is bad, a nigga should get offended. Niggas should be offended when you say that the U.S. treats Black people bad.
America's long and brutal history of erasing and silencing Black populations and its ploy to whiten society. Here's the thing. Anti-Blackness is so deeply ingrained in the Latin American region that it's often ignored or defended. Like in the case of Dominican baseball player Sammy Sosa, who downplayed using a bleaching cream that whitened his skin. From Peruvian newspapers using 159 different racist adjectives to describe African-descended people, to terms of endearment like mi negrita, which actually stem from the idea of people as property, to blackface, used as a form of entertainment. It's all part of a slew of everyday racism. There is plenty of evidence showing face used as a form of entertainment. It's all part of a slew of everyday racism. There is plenty of evidence showing that racism is rampant in Latin America, but many Latin Americans have evaded accountability by treating racism as solely a U.S. problem. Unlike the U.S., where racism was upheld by legal separation like Jim Crow laws,
You're not a Texan if you're not for segregation.
countries including Colombia, Mexico, and Brazil encouraged the mixing of different racial types, known in Spanish as mestizaje. As a result, this ideology of mixing has been used for centuries to deny the presence of Black and Indigenous people throughout the region.
This idea that everyone is mixed also has been completely overblown because Latin America is not unique in its mixedness. But that has been the mantle that it has taken upon itself so that you can evade accountability. How can we be racist if we're all mixed?
Now, they don't mind fucking Black chicks over there. They just like that reporter in that hotel, man. The Mexicans love them some, if you ever worked at a strip club, you know the Mexicans love them some Black pussy, man. Little Mexicans love them some black pussy, man.
Well, you certainly found very many ways to be.
Meet Dash Harris Machado. She's Panamanian American and the producer of Negro, a docuseries about Latino identity.
We all know those sayings. You're treating me like a black person. Trabajar como un negro, working like a black person. Don't marry a black person. Come on. Be serious again. And everybody knows these sayings. This is every single last country. Like, stop playing with us. Stop playing in our faces.
To understand how deep anti-Blackness runs in the region, let's go back a couple of centuries, starting with the wars of independence from Spain for the region now known as Latin America. Meet Simón Bolívar. He's considered the great liberator of Latin America. But he wouldn't have liberated anything if it wasn't for the help of Haiti, where a rebellion by enslaved Africans created the only free republic in Latin America and the Caribbean at the time. Haitian President Alexandre Pétion agreed to help Bolívar on his quest for liberation under one condition. If Bolívar won, he had to abolish slavery and the new republic he was fighting for. Bolívar agreed, and a few years later, he defeated Spain throughout South America and declared himself president of present-day Colombia, Venezuela, Panama, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. Around 60% of soldiers who fought for Bolívar were Black, but Bolívar betrayed them. His promise to completely abolish slavery was a lie. He even complained that Black soldiers were audacious to want absolute equality. They had to wait 40 years after the war to gain their freedom. Bolívar and many other white elites feared that they would eventually be outnumbered by Black and indigenous people. So he maintained Latin America's colonial, racial, and class hierarchy to keep control among the white elites. Bolívar believed in liberation, but only for some.
Whites will not give up anything to Black people, or in general, unless it benefits them more. We're talking about a definite racial and social stratification that was the foundation of the region and in which the region still adheres to. Nothing has changed.
Anti-Blackness was baked into the foundation of the region, but that anti-Blackness didn't stop with Bolívar. See, the emancipation of slavery was a threat to the social hierarchy in Latin America, so white elites came up with a plan to systemically, physically, and culturally wipe out Black people. How did the region do it? Mass white European immigration while banning the immigration of non-whites. Welcome to the Blancamiento.
You hear that? What's up, Wicked? Man, you motherfuckers acting like y'all different than the white man in America, man. Why y'all do that, man? Why y'all be lying, man?
You know what I'm hearing from these videos? The same shit as always, right? Some people being the perpetual victim for one, and second, this constant notion that some people are a reason for something. Like how she's claiming that because of Haiti, Colombia, Mexico, this and that. It's just the same shit as always. And I'll say this, Chief, as I was watching the video of Mexico, right, and how I guess some people are being mistreated, it hit me. I follow the narco wars in Mexico very closely, right, and not one time did I see a son Mexican tossed or hung or dismembered. Not once. You feel me? That's a low bar. However, this it never ends with these people. They're always the victim, Chief.
Well, I mean, during slavery, they were the victim, though.
Take a number.
No, but you guys, what I'm saying is that a lot of Mexicans are saying now, man, we helped y'all. We not like the white man in America. Help us with immigration. And I'm like,
Right.
no, nigga, y'all, it's just slavery. Yeah, it's everywhere. Y'all was no different. Stop the bullshit.
Well, I agree with you on that, but let's be honest, like the hombreros that speak like that are saying that, they're already retarded, right? I mean, let's be honest. However, I will say this, Chief. You know, I like to read, right? I'm a big history guy. You know, the Mexican American War, one of the main catalysts of it was the Mexican government declaring Texas free of slavery. Now, the reasons were not completely altruistic, but that was the stated reason, right? So that caused the Texas rebellion. So yeah, y'all don't wanna help us with immigration, huh? We need y'all.
Nah,
I
man, we
need
gotta
you,
help ourselves. Nah,
right?
man, we
Yeah,
already built one country. We gotta help, man, to
well,
build this country.
you know what? You're right, man. Y'all busy with the cops killing y'all for no reason. My fault.
Yeah, we country building, man. But now I hear you about the Mexican American War, but that's one chapter.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I'm
like
trying to focus on one chapter of the African
yeah,
Latin
right,
relationship.
right. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that fact to connect it to this one, because again, the people that would even speak like how you described. Come on now, don't get me started on those people, right? It's like the some people, the same as the some people that are saying, "Oh, y'all coming for us for help, y'all begging us for help." Like, come on, stop talking like that, G. Like, what you talking about, bro?
Okay.
Stop with Bolivar. See, the emancipation of slavery was a threat to the social hierarchy in Latin America. So white elites came up with a plan to systemically, physically, and culturally wipe out Black people. How did the region do it? Mass white European immigration while banning the immigration of non-whites. Welcome to the Blancamiento and Brancamiento period, which literally mean to whiten. The goal was for future generations to no longer have visibly Black and Indigenous people, so that the national identities in these new nations would be associated with whiteness. In this period, elites aimed to make Black people disappear through their gradual absorption into the white race. Over 10 million European immigrants settled in Latin America between 1880 and 1930, with 90% of them going to Argentina, Uruguay, Cuba, and Brazil. Brazil even went as far as to pay for transportation costs from Europe and passed a law making European immigrants automatic citizens as soon as they arrived. European immigrants were given preference over Black people in jobs, housing, and education, and the impacts of this are still felt today. Today, over 78% of Afro-Brazilians live below the poverty line. There have been many attempts to
Now I don't think that has anything. I think that's just because they black. Black people are poor everywhere. I don't think that that's because of anything that was done or anything like that. Like Latino redlining and shit like that. But I think it's still like y'all this notion that like it's better for a black was ever better for a Black person in Latin America is bullshit. That's what I'm saying. You got me?
Yeah, yeah, I feel you.
Better
But
was never
but
better. It was
but
just another fucking place where niggas went and
yeah,
it was the same shit.
but I think from what y'all telling me here anyway, I think that goes back to the gliders build better societies at the end of the day. You know?
Facts. No, I give you that. Shout out to my man Leroy B, man. He says, Wicked, the only number I need is 1888 deportation.
Is
Damn.
that a number? Is that an actual number?
I don't know, man.
Hold on, I'm
Don't
gonna
drop
call
your
it.
location, I tell you that. Don't drop your location.
Hold on, I'm gonna call it right quick. See, I'll be right back.
resist the relentless oppression of Black people in Latin America. In Brazil, the unified Black movement has challenged racial and class discrimination since the 70s. And in Colombia, Francia Marquez has led the battle for Afro-Colombian land rights since she was 15. She gave a voice to people who didn't feel represented by the white elites who ruled Colombia for centuries. And in 2022, she was elected Colombia's first Black vice president.
Después de 214 años, logramos un gobierno del pueblo, el gobierno de los nadies y las nadies de Colombia.
So the policies aimed at erasing Black people from society failed, but they successfully created many obstacles that prevented Afro descendants from accessing land, education, and the labor market. And
salute to Big Larry. Big Larry in the building coming through. Shout out to Big Larry. Make sure you continue to support the channel. Hit the like button. Smash that PayPal, that Cash App, that Super Chat. Debunking these fucking hombritos, man. It's lying. These lying ass hombritos trying to say they love Black people and shit. I don't blame you. I'm not saying that you should. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying don't lie, motherfucker.
Nah, I mean we do love y'all, man. Y'all paved the way, you know, civil rights and all that shit. Y'all they love saying.
Latinos begging them, and criticizing them for not showing up to help protest the mass deportation. Take a look.
I think it's funny how everybody's true colors are coming out, especially the Black people, because y'all are quick to forget what country you guys flee to shelter when you were slaves. You're quick to forget when Black Lives Matters movement was happening, who was right there next to y'all. Y'all quick to forget that every time you guys are out there protesting for your rights, who was right there next to y'all. Now y'all out here making videos talking about like, let's sit this one down. But you're also quick to talk shit on us. And then when we say something, you're quick to play the victim card and say, well, you're being when y'all are starting it. But you know, to each their own.
I'm amazed.
You know what?
How
That's
many
true, though,
people
man.
from the
Think
Black
about
community?
it. That she's not lying. During the George Floyd riots, we was out there looting with y'all. You can't take
Yeah,
that
I
from
know,
her.
man.
We did it. We did
Y'all,
it for y'all. We did it because we love y'all, man.
y'all got some good shit, man. When y'all was out there, man. Y'all. That's what. Now I see why we looted the AutoZone. Now, man. I was wondering why we
Look,
did that shit.
yeah. You know, I got me a couple Fendi belts. You know.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling me to go back to Mexico, telling Mexicans to go back to Mexico because we're illegal and it's a crime. It was also a crime when your ancestors went to Mexico, when they were escaping the white people and Mexico helped them. A lot of
Yeah, but bitch, you had slavery in Mexico. You had slavery in Mexico.
But not for some people though. For everybody that was conquered. That's what you're talking about, right?
No, but I mean after y'all hombredos died from a lot of diseases. So it's like
Because that was
we ended,
Spanish. That
yeah.
wasn't us. We was
No,
out
that
there
was
with y'all.
well, I mean,
Look, look, put it like this, Chief. Not to bore you, man, but when Mexico defeated Spain, one of the first things they did was abolish son slavery, Chief, because they still kept enslaving the hombredos after that through indentured servitude. But I promise you, one of the first things that Vicente Guerrero did was get rid of son slavery. So y'all
can you
owe
send
us
me a
this.
video on? Can you send me a video on that?
Yeah, let me look for it right now.
Yeah, man.
Mexicans got killed for that. They helped them. They help your people. We didn't oppress you guys. And this is how you guys pay us.
Even though I'm using my nice voice, I want you to listen to my face. This is a brief and a heartfelt courtesy note from the 92%. We are resting. We're not debating. We're not leading the charge. We're not strategizing. Well, we're strategizing. We're just not strategizing with you. And
Who believes
What
that
better
black
say?
women can never stay out of no shit? Black women, they can't stay out of some shit like this. They're gonna try to hijack it. They're gonna try to jump in it and make it about them.
Yeah, I put it in the back chat. But look, I refuse to believe that me and you both know there's some people out there. Some people are out there with because the Umbritos were out there with like the riots aside, right? People that were like protesting and like pretending they're doing something on burritos, gliders, and some people were out there for George Floyd. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some people out here for this shit too. It just is what it is, you know. These people they all suck. All these liberals.
Yeah. Horrible.
The 92%. We are resting. We're not debating. We're not leading the charge. We're not strategizing. Well, we're strategizing. We're just not strategizing with you. And we're not explaining for the millionth time anything. And we're absolutely not going to fix it for you. It's so simple. We've just decided together and all at once that we're not going to be bashing our beautiful heads against brick walls like we've been doing for decades.
Sisters, listen. I want y'all to really, really listen to me now, okay? Because this is real. We said that we were going to sit our asses down, right? Look, and I know that what's going on out here is really fucked up, okay? Especially when it comes to these babies being taken away from their families and things like that. I get it. I heard us.
What babies are being taken care away from their family, Wicked?
My bad. I didn't see what this queen said. My fault.
Now she said Mexican babies are being taken away from their families.
Like here in America, I don't know.
Yeah, during the
That's no idea.
deportation shit.
I mean, she lying.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. That's why I said black women gonna try to fucking hijack this shit.
A sister say that she's a teacher, and she was saying, you know, they can't come get my babies. I work too hard, this, that, and the other. Now, granted, I understand all of that, but this right here is not our fight. It's not. It's not. And I feel so bad because the human and mother and just doing what's right in me. Listen, you want to help. You want to help. And I understand that. We can't do that. We can't. It's nothing we can do. This is not our fight. I'm not going to go and talk about, because I've heard a couple of people saying, well, they didn't help us when we was in trouble and da-da-da-da, and we're not going to help them. That's not what we're doing.
Tried to unify with everybody, all people of color. You want to know what they told us? Me no black, me from the islands. Oh, they don't like our community. Oh, black people are lazy, this and that. Every time we try to reach out and be like, yo, we know what it's like to go through what you're going through. Let's unify, man. You know what I'm saying? We all got the same enemy. Let's work together. They would rather choose white supremacy.
We all got the same enemy.
White people. Yo, I like when they put those beats in the background to make it like more deep.
Yeah, I think white people may have been your enemy at one point, but I think as a black person, a white person is your greatest ally right now in recent history.
100%.
Yeah,
Easily, actually.
white people put up with your shit.
They would rather choose that. It's crazy how all other people of color have a slur for us and we don't have a slur for them. Isn't that some crazy ass shit to think about? So now,
Spit, wetback, Migo,
Right.
fucking Beaner.
Yeah,
There's
cook
plenty
in
of
the
fucking
bag.
slurs. We just don't. We don't. Y'all slurs haven't become like colloquial terms. They haven't become like just.
And Bray,
You know what I'm saying?
what's
Like,
up, my beaner?
yeah,
What's up,
yeah,
my
like my
wetback?
Beaner. Yeah, what's up, my Beaner?
Yo,
My
cook.
Beaner. Nah, my Beaner. My Beaner with the N. My
Not
Beaner,
the
man.
hard
What's
R.
up, my Beaner?
Cook
Yeah,
in the
man.
bag.
Shout out to my Beaner. Man. Plenty of slurs, man.
Yo,
What's cracking, man?
yo, I hope this officially ends the Black and Brown coalition, man, because I don't like y'all ass either.
Man,
Yeah.
but we need y'all, Cook. We need y'all. What we gonna do without y'all?
Nah, man, fuck that, man. When I was a kid, man, and I used to look at you burritos, man, I used to always know, like, man, at least we better than them bum ass motherfuckers. they
Right.
dirty and they wear dirty shoes and whatever it is. But now y'all overtook us, man. Y'all better than us. So fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Fruit
You know,
pickers, man. That's what they. That's what
you
they do. Pick fruit.
you know what, Chief? I remember Crook said that before. I guess out where he was at, but where I was at, Chief, man, we was clean, Chief. Like the guys telling you right now, not for
You know
nothing.
where I grew up at. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
the Umbritos where I grew up at was dirty.
Yeah, I know you was telling us before, but I'm telling you right now, where I was at, that wasn't the case. You feel me? We
Zoot
feel like this,
suits.
we
You
have
know,
money.
zoot suits.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Kimberly, man. Kimberly says best channel on YouTube. There's an awesome video of Cat Williams getting in the Mexicans heckler's ass
You saw that.
like
You
a
played
pipe
that,
with
didn't you?
no seat. It's shared all over YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I seen that one, man. Yeah, I seen that one, man. Cat Williams, the Cat Williams is going, that went viral. That went viral a couple
You
days
know
ago.
what gets me with Cat Williams though?
Yeah,
Like Cat Williams will say that type of shit and like, you know what I'm saying, do that and be consistent on that, but he'll still like kind of give them some hope with the whole white supremacy and all that other shit, you know?
I think Cat Williams does that too. I mean, Charleston White does that too. I
That's
think
why
a
I
lot of
said
those.
like the whole shit that gets me with them is they'd be based as fuck and make all this sense, but they will still talk about what the white man ain't did and the white
Wait,
supremacy and
even
the
even
system.
Charleston White, even
Charleston
Charleston
White
White
does
does
it a
that?
lot, bro. He does
Really?
it a
Yeah,
lot.
Why?
but
I
here's
never
the
seen him
thing.
do it.
I think they do that so that they can get their message more palatable because you got to play the game with niggas. Like if you mainstream like that and you like an icon and you talking shit, you gotta give niggas you gotta give niggas Flintstone vitamins. You know what I'm saying?
Throw a dog a bone.
I just don't understand the reason to give them the Flintstone vitamins. You know what I'm saying? It's really no need to because niggas ain't gonna actually stand consistently together on anything. They ain't finna boycott nobody consistently.
Hell no. I think they think though that may be what they think. They still niggas. Hey, we all remember Cat Williams is a nigga. You don't know him. Like he might be base, but he's still a nigga. He's a
That's
black
true.
dude.
That's true. That's true.
That they're going through crisis and things are going to happen in this country, right? To Latinos, to the Asians, to all of them, right? Things are going to happen to them. Like this is a fucking fact. Especially seeing the
Only thing happening to them right now is that the criminals are getting kicked out. Like I mean, like have we forgotten that this is the criminal phase. We haven't even gotten to the phase where we getting just all the motherfuckers that's got a detention order.
What kills me is this
Deportation.
though, bro. What kills me is like, yeah, it's the criminal phase, but then the collateral damage get caught with it, or you know what I'm saying, that they go to a restaurant like they just did one today in Missouri. They went to a Mexican restaurant, right? It was one guy that had a warrant that was a deportation warrant, but these motherfuckers had 12 illegals working there, so all they ass left. All they had to come, you know. So it's just
Oh, I got to
like,
see that.
yeah, it just
But
happened in Missouri.
but from what I've heard, um, and I know everybody here thinks that they all are criminals because they came here illegally, right? But from what I heard, even the ones that aren't breaking laws that been here working for 20 years, even they're getting snatched. Like they're like not collateral damage, like they're targeting them. You know what I'm saying?
They're
I
not,
mean,
they're not targeting those people. What they're saying is, if they get like,
collateral damage. I
if they going after a
Yeah, I know that.
target,
But what I'm
and that
saying,
motherfucker there,
collateral damage, right? But that what I'm hearing is that it's not even collateral damage, chief. That they're actually targeting, like they're
Okay,
going
well
for
then
them.
fine. You still supposed to leave though, but it's
Yeah,
not
no, no.
targeting you.
But hold
Morning.
on,
So what I want to say to that is, why are you so quick to build houses, but you're not that quick to try and get your citizenship like converted? When
you
you
know
had
what? So
Obama and Biden.
you know what? Some people, because I know people obviously that are not here legally, right? Obviously, um, they don't trust the government. They think that they're not gonna be allowed to stay. So they figured they're just gonna be here illegally.
Well,
I know.
So they
Real
wouldn't
thing.
take their chances under
right,
like
right,
Obama
right.
doing Dreamers
It
and
No,
was
if
super.
you've
It
come
was a
illegally,
super
we'll
lax
convert
thing,
they
you.
bro.
didn't trust Obama. Maybe they were
Well,
racist.
that even makes it sound more stupid to me. I'm sorry.
You think so? Well, maybe they were racist. Did you consider that?
I don't care
Maybe
if they're
maybe,
racist.
maybe
If you
they
come
were right
illegally,
some
you're
people.
already committing a crime. And then if you have presidents who are saying, oh, if you're illegal, we'll help you convert to US citizenship, kind of the easiest way, then
I
you
mean,
say, oh, I don't trust the government. And
they
then when it's the president who's like, actually, anyone who's illegal is going out, that's when you're all screaming
but
and crying. Like,
but they called that brother. They called him the deporter in chief over here. I don't know. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know.
And then
Look,
he
look,
switched because he concentrated on gay marriage.
look,
So
Chief.
that was like a chance for you to be
This is what
getting
I
your
know, Chief.
citizenship.
Right? This is what I know, Chief. Right? I don't give a fuck about any of these illegals. Right? I know me. I'm the anchor man. You feel me? Good morning, San Diego.
Mm. Yeah, man. I would say this though. Pantheon is right. Like y'all motherfuckers been over here all this time enjoying this shit, and now the racket is over. Like everything comes to an end, man.
Yeah,
All good things come to an end. It was a
I
good thing,
it
and
was a
it's
good
stop
coming
thing.
to
it.
an end now.
I stop it. They ain't going nowhere, Chief. You know it.
All the
Trump, Trump,
motherfuckers going.
Trump, Trump
Hey,
ain't going.
hey,
Chief,
wicked.
what's up? What's up?
Hey, man, I ain't never seen this lead like this number of fucking like loose hombritos. No one's outside begging, none of that
Yeah.
shit.
The,
It's done, bro.
yo,
For now,
Kirk, you just described the Venezuelans, bro. When you say begging, you're talking about the Venezuelans, bro. I don't know if y'all heard about this
I
concept
agree.
of the pendulum. The pendulum, right? The beaners, I'm sorry to tell you, man, they not. This is gonna come and go. You feel me? And I hate to break it to anyone here that hates what I'm saying, but don't shoot the messenger. You feel me?
No, I got you. I'm not sitting here. I'm not gonna sit here and say that like all y'all are going, but the criminal ones are going. They're deporting the criminals.
Yeah, we getting their ass up out of there,
I
man.
just don't understand coming illegally, setting down roots, and literally your priority will not be trying to convert to citizenship any which way you, even if they say, okay, we've registered you, go back to Mexico for 2 years, and then when you come back, you'll almost be in a priority queue because you were here before. Like, why wouldn't you do that as a priority? And now when
Because
you're being
Bruh, the
chased
system, the
and you're
system
working in
was
a...
the system was
because
so lax
they don't
that they
trust them.
Exactly.
always thought that we'll get to it eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. How can you be illegal? Then you have a child, and that child has right to U.S. citizenship, and then you won't sort yourself out. Yeah, I don't have any like
Whoa,
sympathy for
chill
any
out. I'm
illegal.
right here. Chill
Those are what
out.
I called
Damn.
anchor babies.
Yeah, I don't have any
Right.
sympathy. Like your
Chill out,
anchor
man. I'm
baby
right
has a
here.
cultural heritage
So you
in
gonna talk shit
Mexico. You
about
can
me
go
right
back
here in front
there.
of me?
Oh, I'm
What
not
did you
talking
say,
shit. I'm
Wicked?
speaking the truth.
I'm saying I'm standing right here. You're gonna talk shit about me in front of me? You know,
Didn't I
I'm
just
a
say?
I'm
Yeah,
I'm an anchor
I
baby.
can repeat it. No issues.
I'm an
We're
anchor baby.
we're speaking truth, bro. I have
No,
a
I'm just joking. Really, I'm just joking.
all right.
I'm an
No,
anchor
I know,
baby.
but I mean, like a passport is so easy to kind of rescind for like a 3-month-old baby. You can just switch it to parents' country of birth, Mexico, U.S. citizenship revoked.
Can you do that? I don't know. I mean, I guess.
One of the things
Like
I
a country can revoke their citizenship, like they can.
Well, they don't here.
Well,
Trump
who
just
knows?
recommended
Oh,
to
he's working
revoke.
on it.
He just recommended to revoke all the motherfuckers
Yeah.
citizenship for what country was that?
In
Colombia.
Salvador.
Venezuela.
Colombia.
Oh,
Oh,
he also talking about sending some man to Salvador. So shit, we'll see.
so from what I understand with Colombia, I don't think they're going to get revoked because he's just getting Petro to play ball. That's all it is. And Petro caved.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but he didn't threaten to do it. He was saying like, if you don't do this, if you don't let the planes land, motherfucker, we gonna revoke everybody, all the Colombian
Right.
nationalists and everybody that's family and friends to the fucking elected officials in Colombia that's here on visas. All they has got to go.
that strategy, believe it or not, that Trump implemented came from his book called The Art of the Deal. It's straight from the playbook when you think about it. It's actually
It's pretty good. It's
They
actually pretty good.
take away everything, and then the person begs for the kind of semblance of the deal back.
Well, because they need. I hate to say it, and I don't want to sound arrogant, but they need us more than we need them.
Of course, it's not even arrogance; it's fact.
Yeah. One
You
thing I
gliders
want
are
to
so
say,
nice.
you guys remember
Stop
the
being
pass.
nice,
I don't know if you
glider.
guys remember the passport bros, and this is going to tie into Latin America. They seem to use Latin America. They seem to view Latin America as paradise for them. And shout out to them. Shout out to the FBAs. But what they don't understand is that it's their passport and their American money is what makes living over there paradise.
Of course.
Because I have a couple of plugs who are FBAs in Brazil, and they said that if they had to live like a local, they would be living in the favelas.
Yeah, but because they're their sons, and it's literally and that's what some people when they. It's almost when they experience it, I wouldn't even say racism, but just different ethnicities outside of America, they realize very quickly that they're seen more as American before the ethnic visual.
Right. Yeah. But because they have their American passport and they have American currency, they're able to live in neighborhoods like, I don't know if you're familiar with Rio de Janeiro, but like Ipanema and Leblon, which are like the two most expensive neighborhoods in that city.
Yeah, they're closer to the beach, if I.
Yep, they're both.
Hey,
they're kind of beach coastal.
Hey,
right.
did you see that video? The one in Missouri, the raid that just happened today.
No, I'm about to let me look it up.
All right.
Like, I'm sorry, I didn't care about 12 chefs who are illegal. Like,
Yeah, you see, I'm telling you, y'all owe us this our president, the first president of a fucking Mexico, freed the son, man. And here you are, don't want to help us. Y'all ain't right, Chief.
Another
Y'all
thing,
wrong.
that the lady in the video failed to talk about when they talked about like racial integration between the Latinos and the blacks. So there's a phrase, they call it mejorar la raza, which from what I understand, I believe it means improve the race. I was surprised she didn't touch up on that.
Yeah, man, that means like whiten up the race, right?
Yeah, whiten up. It
means
technically means
better the
improve
race.
the race. Or
It means better the race, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think white people are better. They think light skinned people are better.
These hombres are crazy. They should have just did what the Patels did and buy some creams. They're tripping.
And they definitely are right when it comes to society. I mean, white people build better societies. You said what city was it from?
Missouri, I think you said.
The restaurant. You said they ran up in the restaurant.
I'm about to look it up. I'm gonna give you the names to type in. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
Is that same state that they offer 1,000 for everyone you turn in? For every illegal you turn in? I think that is.
I would be rolling.
I think
that's 15,000 today, 20,000 tomorrow.
Yeah, I be making money phones and shit with the money I got from
That'd be the easiest job ever.
Yo, Cook, they got them on Cicero by Bedford Park. I'm gonna have to call that one in. They got a hotel full of these Venezuelans.
The thing is,
I heard that
what
was a
always
myth.
kills
I heard
me
that was a myth, bro,
with the
that they
UK
not
and
there.
No, they're there, bro. They're 100% there, bro.
No, I said
what
I heard
always
they
kills
not
me
there.
with the UK and US.
But they're hiding them though. You know what I'm talking about?
You talking about who's hiding who? You talking about you talking about like USAID or something
Yeah,
like that?
there's a hotel here in Chicago, a Holiday Inn, that they converted into like a Venezuelan hideout or some shit. I don't know. I'm about to call it in though.
Good luck. Yeah, if they offer the reward, yeah, do it.
Yeah, if they don't give me money, I'm not calling shit in.
But as long as Johnson runs your city, good luck.
Oh, you're not wrong.
I wanted to say what always kills me with the UK and US is immigrants always act like the UK and US weren't doing all these jobs before they came. Like they were in the kitchens, they were hotel maids, like they were all these things before immigrants came.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have machines now that do a lot of that stuff, and the
Yeah.
burritos are
Yeah.
doing it on smaller farms. They're doing it on
But-
farms where they might not have that equipment, smaller farms, but the big farms, we don't need you fucking on burritos
Yeah.
for shit.
Yo, a great man once told me, right? A great man once told me that in Jamaican and jerk chicken restaurants, the burritos are the cooks.
Oh,
Who
that
said
is
that?
true. That nowadays is true. Now,
They,
last 20 years, I've been seeing that.
Yeah,
May
that's
have
true.
seen a few hundred
Hey,
Italian
people running around
restaurants.
Ballpark
it's
Village in their
Homeland Security,
underwear earlier today. Fox
Well,
Homeland Security raid at Liberty Mexican restaurant.
okay.
may have seen a few hundred people running around Ballpark Village in their underwear earlier today. Fox 2's Caroline Petty was there. She tells us why it was all for a great cause.
Hundreds of runners gathered at Ballpark Village on Saturday afternoon to brave the cold in their, well, bare necessities. This unique and lighthearted event pushes the boundaries for charity as participants strip down in solidarity and run in their underwear, just as Cupid himself might. Costumes are also encouraged.
Look at white culture, man. This is
All right.
see, these are the people that enslaved you, man. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Damn.
I hate to say it, but also, West Africa also had a hand in it too.
No doubt. We know that. But we just going with the bullshit narrative. But yeah, like these are the people that run the world. Isn't this a crazy?
Adding to the fun and festive atmosphere.
But it is a great run. It's less than a mile. It's fun. We have a great good time.
The annual run isn't
Now
just
they're
about
full of
laughs.
soy.
It's about making a difference. Proceeds from the event support the Children's Tumor Foundation, an organization dedicated to funding research and finding a cure for neurofibromatosis.
One of the reasons we do this in our underwear is because for those who
These
Finding
are
a cure-
the men that are running the world.
For neurofibromatosis.
one of the reasons we do this in our underwear is because for those who have NF, sometimes it can be very painful, very deformative, and as such, they are not always comfortable in their own skin. So it's a welcoming thing to say, come, be a little uncomfortable.
While the idea may seem unconventional, the St. Louis group has made a significant impact, raising more than $60,000 at this year's event alone. After the race, attendees enjoyed drinks and dancing at PBR, and some even braved the mechanical bull. Over the years, the group has hosted more than a dozen runs in the city, proving that a little fun in the cold can go a long way in helping those in need.
This is our chance to grow. Coming back from the pandemic, there's still a lot of people who haven't heard of us, and there's a lot of people this is their first time here. So we hope to grow and do this even more in St. Louis.
Caroline Petty.
So while the gliders are having fun and hanging out and doing all this shit, just rubbing it in the Ombrito faces, man. Ombritos is living a different reality right now.
It makes me sick. It makes me sick.
Homeland Security agents have been in our area this week after the president's immigration orders.
In fact, agents responded at a Liberty restaurant today. KMBC9's Alan Chope is getting answers tonight.
They come in here with guns and then their faces are covered.
El Pocho store manager Yodella Torre says it was terrifying.
People were frightened. They were scared. They intimidate you. They block all the entries.
Well, I mean, you should get your paperwork together. Are you illegal? Because if you are, man, you got to go too. Like, what the fuck? Are you trying to tell us something? Matter of fact, let me see your paperwork, man. Is that what you talking about, Wicked? Like that type of shit? Maria with the big mouth. Let me see your paperwork.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm saying like that's a Fourth Amendment violation. Like she needs to commit a crime.
She need to keep her mouth shut if she don't. We
look.
looking for criminals. We looking for criminals.
I don't got a problem with what you're saying, Chief, but if we're doing that, we need to apply it right now today on the Sun community. Because there's a lot of motherfuckers running around here that need to go.
But they citizens.
Hey, stop talking about my legal fucking citizens, man.
She could be a citizen, though. You don't know that she not. How you know she's not a citizen?
We're gonna check them papers, man.
Yeah, check the papers.
We're gonna check them papers, bro.
I don't think I'm wrong, Chief. I'm just saying. Like fuck her. Don't get me wrong, fuck her. But I'm just saying.
Shout out to Barry B, man. Barry B in the building. Salute to Babs. Babs says they tired of hating on gliders, so they turning on each other now. I'm here for it.
Like I say, it's the previous administration you have to blame for this. You know, if you're feeling the
Yeah, I
pinch,
agree.
sorry, but it's the previous
No,
administration that
yeah,
allowed like
100%.
what, over 10 million people. I think it's 11 million
I think it was
people to
more than
cross.
that. It was like 100 million.
I
Damn.
don't think it's just that. For me, as I said, it's the ones who've been here for a very long time, who have just made zero effort
They,
to convert themselves
they,
to any kind of.
they've been busy working, 7 days a week around the clock. I'm just
You're
saying.
working illegally
12
anytime.
hour days, 12
I'm
hour
sorry.
days,
Even
7
even
days a
I know,
week.
like, ICE raids aren't a new thing. They do happen, albeit we understand they haven't been happening for a long time. But if you are somewhere illegally and you can be pulled up on any time, your priority more than work should be to try and convert your citizenship to something of a legal nature. Like what working in a jerk chicken shop for the past 12 years. I'm sorry, like it's not any kind of excuse. Like, oh, they were working 12-hour days in a jerk chicken shop. They had no
They,
time to
they
find
were
a
all
lawyer.
they were also building homes too, and doing a
Doesn't
lot, a lot of,
matter.
a lot of yard work. You can't even begin to imagine how much yard work they were
Doesn't
doing.
matter.
Bro, some of y'all are owning the
There's enough of you that if they took a day off, like, they wouldn't notice.
some of y'all for some reason are owning the small business construction companies. So I'm sure again, there was some loophole. Like this country seriously needs to make a law where you can't own a business or buy property, freehold property, unless you have a legal visa, or at least actually you shouldn't be able to buy freehold property unless you're a U.S. citizen. And then for at least owning a business, you should at least have a permanent resident card.
Yeah, I mean, all that, man, all of that. We got to get these motherfuckers out of here, man. They're taking all our jobs, man. Get these motherfuckers out of here, man.
I don't even think you even have to apply, oh, they're taking all our jobs. It's just you are not meant to be here. Like, there's nothing else. Oh, they're taking all our jobs. They're in our neighbor. You are not meant to be here. Full stop. You're illegal. Full stop. Like, I don't care if you just had twins. I don't care if you're getting married to you. Like, I don't care. And I'm not even American, but it's like you're illegal. Full stop. There's no excuse to follow that.
El Chapo had twins here. Yeah, anchor baby
Yeah.
twins here. I don't know if y'all know that. Fun fact.
Damn.
See,
I mean,
in order. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, in order for Trump to really take away what he called birthright citizenship, is pretty much anchor babies. He's got to ratify the what is it, the 14th? What's the amendment? Is it the
14th Amendment?
14th, yeah.
He's got to ratify it, and then when he ratifies it, he's got to get 2/3 of the Congress to pass it. What are the chances?
But didn't the Supreme Court this is the time to do it. I mean, I don't know. There's no better time than right now. Shit, the momentum is there, right?
It is there, but I don't think he can get 2/3.
Well,
there's still so many sympathizers.
Not with that attitude, he won't.
Well, look at Congress, and then you even some of what is it, Trump appointed what is it, court or something like that is kind of going against him.
White people are struggling too, man. Listen, white people are struggling too. Look, hold on, is that it? Oh, hold on.
She would actually be considered a white Latino, looking at, because I notice now. What is it? The Census Bureau is now compartmentalizing the Latinos into different categories.
Hispanic, non-white Hispanic, yeah, or non. What they call it?
Yeah, I think it's no, it's just white. That's it, white and black.
Fox tonight, the beloved Milwaukee-based whole grain food business Bob's Red Mill is facing some financial difficulties, now leading to the closure of their store and
How is this happening? Because it's on Burrito Red Mill whole grain store somewhere taking all their business, man.
Yeah, I remember Bob's Red Mill.
Yeah, Why is Bob got to go out of business and some fucking Bina is over here with fucking 19 kids and
Well, look at
shit.
the city. Look at the city it's in. It's in Milwaukee.
Oh, this is Milwaukee.
Yeah.
There's
So
there's a lot of
chances
burritos in
are,
Milwaukee.
I don't think it's because of them. I think it's probably because of the crime over there.
There's a lot of burritos in those. You'll be surprised how many burritos there's in Wisconsin, dude.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of Puerto Ricans up there.
Cafe. Fox 12's Michaela Armstrong has reaction from customers as the business of 21 years looks to focus on pushing out their product to retailers rather than operating a brick and mortar location.
Bob's Red Mill has been packed with customers throughout the day, with the store even having to turn some customers away, as many took advantage of the cafe and store before both are permanently closed. Dozens of customers lined up on Saturday at Bob's Red Mill store and cafe for the last chance at their favorite products.
This is
really
sad.
sad to see Bob's Red Mill close up.
You don't look sad. White
Yeah, I
people
was gonna
take this
say,
shit on the
if
chin.
it's their favorite product, these people queuing should have been going there from time.
They're ready to go.
Like they obviously weren't.
I blame the Hombritos, man. If the Hombritos wasn't here, man, the white businesses would still be up and thriving, man. It's all the Hombritos' fault, white people.
It's kind of embarrassing. Damn.
Trump train, man. Get on the Trump train. These are liberals too. These are liberal gliders. We're trying to get them on the Trump train, man. Get them on our side, man.
Oh, I just saw in the
he's
chat.
like
It's
a-
Milwaukee, Oregon, not Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I see the
Oh,
Oregon
this
on
is
the
Milwaukee,
bottom right.
Oregon. Yeah.
I see it
Milwaukee,
on the
Oregon.
bottom right
Yeah.
too.
Icon for the Portland, Milwaukee area.
The Hutchins have been customers at the business for 20 years and say there is so much they will miss from the beloved whole grain store.
Their cookies were so good, and the soup, oh my gosh.
You can taste it.
I can taste it.
The company announced its closure this week, saying in a statement the store was, quote, operating at a loss for many years, which led the store to close to focus on making products for its retail partners. Customers disappointed by the news of the closure say the store is irreplaceable.
I feel like the people who have worked here, in the 10 years that I've been coming here, are people that know their products and can answer questions. It doesn't feel like another business. It's always felt like an independent business and one that contributes something that's unique in the area.
Until the cafe and store are officially closed, the business is discounting prices, which many took advantage of.
This whole basket here was just under $150. Now, you can't beat that.
Even waiting hours just for a chance to pick up some souvenirs to remember the iconic
bobblehead
store.
People came from far to come to Bob's Red Mill. It's like a day trip. It's something to do because you don't have this in every town.
Throughout the day, many took one final glimpse at the statue of the man who started it all, founder Bob Moore, who died in February of last year. Saddened by the end of an era, but happy to remember the man who made the store special in the first place.
He gave a lot and helped a lot of people out. He was a really good man.
The last day the cafe will be open is Sunday, and the last day the store will be open is the 17th. In Milwaukee, Michaela Armstrong, Fox.
Fuck, man. None of this would have happened if them goddamn Hombritos wasn't here, man.
Is it me? Hey, is it me or is she the only son in that town?
Yeah.
Damn. Can you imagine all the microaggressions she's having Sunday? You can't put that one on us, man. We don't open up those kind of stores. Whatever that was, we don't do.
I don't know, man.
If it was like a taco joint, then yeah, it was us.
Yeah, whole wheat tacos or whatever, whole grain
Right.
tacos, man.
Hey, what's it called? Corn tortilla tacos.
Yeah, man. This guy right here, this is our Asian friend, man.
It's kind of weird where life takes you. 6 years ago, I was chanting abolish ICE on the steps of the Supreme Court during their DACA decision. And as my viewpoints and worldview shifted in the last few years, I still, for the longest time, had a residual hesitation to acknowledge that I might have been wrong about ICE. But time went out my resistance, and my views have shifted from seeing them as an evil to a necessary evil to simply necessary. And
He got the homebrew. He got the goddamn tigers on our side. Yeah, man.
Something about this tiger that doesn't that's I don't know. I think
Nah,
he
man,
looked
he's a
dangerous.
tiger. No, he's a
He's
tiger.
not,
Tiger.
but he struck me like as a mass shooter tiger. Though. I'm just saying. Look, I don't
Nah,
know.
man, this tiger, he's a good young man, man. He
I ain't gonna
ties
lie,
y'all,
man.
man.
That
You
look
you
at
can
that, his
just see
facial
his
expression.
evolution over, like, as he said, like
Yeah,
6 years.
Look,
I've
just watch
watched a
him.
few of his
Just
videos.
look at his eyes. Like, just look, it's in the eyes.
He's treating
yeah. I
illegal
mean,
immigrants like he ate a
I,
stinky
I
tofu.
I know it's hard
he-
to see. It's hard to see those slanty eyes, but it's in the eyes, G.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's a wave of nationalism sweeping the country, and he's just a patriot, man. He's a patriotic tiger, man. Shout out to this tiger, man. You tell him, tiger.
Since this is something I've gone through myself, I suspect many of you have conflicting thoughts about immigration enforcement. Of course, many of you don't. There's people on either ends of the spectrum, right? People who want every illegal immigrant deported to people, crazy people, who want no enforcement at all. But I'm reaching out to a lot of you stuck somewhere in between. Those who maybe say only deport those who commit violent crimes, or don't deport the ones who've been here for decades, or brought here as children, which, as to that last point, still makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm here to tell you the reasons why I felt conflicted for the longest time, how I've come to think about it now, and finish off with two important things for you to bear in mind as you work through this issue for yourself. To start, as my worldview shifted, what really sold to me the necessity for enforcement wasn't that fact that in these last few years, a lot of violent criminals were coming into our communities. Of course, that matters a lot. And despite the insistence of these immigrant advocacy groups, it's not scaremongering. People who are killed, these are real people, and its consequences are borne not by these advocates, but by the families to whom this has happened.
Thank you.
But it's not
Amen.
that. What really sold it for me was I started caring more about the principle of the matter. Generally speaking, I notice it's something that happens a lot with people as they turn 30. A lot of us lose some of our youthful, permissive, indulgent, laissez-faire attitude towards the misconduct of others, and in its stead, we grow increasing intolerance of people who do not conform their conduct to law or social custom. And in this specific case, here is the principle of the matter: the law. You know, sometimes we like to say the law is wrong, and if the law is wrong, you are under no moral obligation to follow it. And in some instances of our history, I would tend to agree. But the law isn't wrong just because you feel deep down that it is. Here's a quote: "The law is not known to him who knoweth not the reason therefore." Why do we include some people but exclude others? Because that is the very essence of nationhood. What is property but a right to possess and enjoy to the exclusion of others? And what is a nation but that which belongs to its people? A right to exclude and regulate aliens is an inherent right reserved for peoples of any nation. Have you thought about the fact that after decades of the same conversation, you have not convinced a majority of the people to change the law in your favor? So maybe the law isn't wrong. Maybe there's something to this law you're not seeing. Maybe you're in the wrong. And at least in this instance, your blanket approval or endorsement of lawbreaking under the premise that the law is wrong reflects a selfishness on your part. Because if everyone had your attitude for whatever cause they held dear, we wouldn't have a society, or at least one anyone would want to live in. But as I've said, I still felt conflicted, even after my viewpoints have shifted. Because there's a principle of a matter on its face, and that principle as applied to your life, where on its face you would not question its sacredness, you start seeing more of the downsides and the human aspect as applied. And here's the thing: for millions of Americans, we know illegal immigrants in our lives, not just as acquaintances, but neighbors, friends, confidants, and family members. If you have illegal immigrants in your life, it's very hard to see them as an abstract problem that needs to be dealt with. You form a bond with people, and you witness firsthand and sympathize with their plight. Maybe these people are living life with constant weight on their shoulders. They're unable to seek justice or recourse when someone has wronged them because they're afraid of knocking on the door of the system. And when you see people who you know to be a good person suffer like that, can't help but feel something. That is what I think leads a lot of us to think, man, the law is in the wrong. And even if you know in principle that, as with everything in life, you make the bed you lie in, that illegal immigrants, at least as to the adults who made the conscious choice to break the law, you assume the risk that the shadow would cast in perpetuity on the stability of your life so long as you stay, even if you know that on principle. I nevertheless can't help but think that I very well could have made the same choices were I to be in their circumstances. And when I say that, I mean they weren't left with a choice between immigrating legally versus illegally. Their choices were to immigrate illegally or not at all. Often, when someone who has been here for a long time is arrested by ICE, we hear, well, you've been here 20 years. Why couldn't you have applied for a green card? Well, having a degree of familiarity with immigration law, I can tell you there are certain avenues through which one can obtain a green card. And if those avenues are foreclosed to you, for instance, because you don't have an immediate family member who can sponsor your petition, or you wouldn't be eligible for an H-1B, there's no legal means through which you can immigrate. And I was never.
Then don't immigrate. Like that means you can't come.
Now that you pause that, one thing that really stood out is they assume the risk once they cross over. They assume the risk. So this is why they fear now going to get their paperwork in order, because they've already assumed the risk once they crossed over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a part of it too.
Yeah, like no one's saying that like we don't understand it's a lick. You hit a lick. It's like a lick if you hit it. It's like if somebody dropped their wallet. Most people would understand if a broke person's walking behind somebody who drops their wallet, most people will understand that the broke person took the wallet. You know what I'm saying? Most people would still be like, you kind of want the person to give the wallet back, but if they didn't, you'd say fuck it. You know what I mean? I get it, man.
I knew a guy who came here illegally, tried to do it the right way, went back to Mexico, and they denied him, so he crossed again. You know?
Yeah.
You can't jump the line, man.
No. I mean, look, I hear what you're saying, but evidently, you can. Apparently.
Yeah,
But also, I think what it is for me is the thing of what did I don't know if your allegiance, whatever. It's like under God, all men are created equal. It's somewhere I've heard it in America, but
yeah,
I think
allegiance to the flag, indivisible.
Yeah, the fact that everyone isn't born equal, and it's a shame, if you live in a third world country or developing nation, but that because you're born there doesn't mean you have the right to the first world luxuries, if you want to say that. Like it's just circumstance. Not everyone is going to be born into a first world and be able to live in a first world country.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that. Like everything is relative, right? So those little hombres, man, that live in that little country, that they live in their country, they're like part of the dominant society. They're part of the majority. So it's like there's pros and cons. So yeah, you're not born in a first world country, but in your country, you're the majority. People who look like you are the majority. Huh?
You can't miss what you never had, right?
Yeah, but people who look like you are the majority. You're the your custom people who share the same brain as you, as we talk about DNA, have built that country. Your country was built by people with your brain.
Right, in their vision. I'm gonna head out, but I wanted to say to you real quick, bro. Earlier, you were doing a story, right, where the son man was on, I think, death row, and they said he was incapable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if that's a defense act, then a bunch of some words should be released right now, because a lot of these motherfuckers are incapable. You be safe.
All right, man. Yeah, like this guy right here, if he was born in a fucking third world Asian country, even I don't know if there are any, but he people who look like him would be the dominant race. Like they look like he get to see the president that look like him. He get to see everybody that looks like him, man. So it's like it is what it is.
In this circumstance, but if you feel like you have nothing else to lose because the country in which you were born is either dangerous or present no opportunities for upward mobility, I could see why they would make that choice to break the law, because here's a way better place to live. So yeah, simply saying, they should have done it legally is kind of a half-truth. But there's also a lot of other half-truths that are replete in this dialogue about immigration. Half-truths that confuse and mislead the jury, that is the American public. And sure, some of it weighs in favor of the illegal immigrant, like what I just mentioned. But there's also a lot of half-truths going the other way, and those merit discussion as well. Here's one. They say illegal immigrants pay taxes. And here's the thing. If you are a undocumented immigrant, that is to say, you do not have legal status, but you are in some way accounted for by the government, sure, you pay taxes. So that be, for instance, DACA recipients, out-of-status TPS beneficiaries, or you faced a removal proceeding and your removal was withheld by the judge, also known as withholding a removal, or you circumvent U.S. labor laws barring unauthorized work by creating an LLC, working under the designation of an independent contractor by getting an ITIN number issued. In all these instances, the illegal immigrant pays taxes. But these limited category of people do so because, like the rest of us, they have to. They're accounted for by the government. They're in the system. The government will come after them if they do not. But this represents but a small fraction of the illegal immigrant population. Okay? The overwhelming vast majority, the rest, do not pay taxes. None I've ever known throughout the course of my life did. Vast majority don't have a social, nor an ITIN number. Many don't have a bank account. They earn cash and spend cash, and none of it goes to our collective pot. I can understand from their perspective why they would hesitate to reveal themselves to the system, but it's also not right as a matter of generalization to say that illegal immigrants pay taxes, okay? Because you're arguing the rule from the extremes. And that matters.
Yeah, y'all don't pay no fucking taxes, man.
Yeah, just really quickly, side note, Angus72's writing from Rumble, and he wants to come in the chat, but I just looked and the StreamYard link isn't on Rumble.
Okay, let me drop the link over there in Rumble. Shout out to Rumble, man. Let me see. Here you go. Here you go, man. It's in the chat. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's see.
Hey, Ack,
what
man,
else
you
is
got to
going
start
on?
applying for those journalist credentials so you can be let in the White House to start asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Be in the White House, man. That's something that I would really do.
Lemon said he requested it, the credential.
Oh God, Jesus Christ, he's a fucking weirdo. Let's go to New Mexico.
Reporting
Man.
you can trust. You're watching KRQE News 13 at 10.
Walter White's home.
Good evening. A new bill aimed at cracking down on violent youthful criminals stirred up rigorous debate in the state's capital today as lawmakers shared their support and concerns about the potential new law. News 13's Chandler Farnsworth explains what the law would do and what pushback it's receiving.
I personally believe is the most important criminal legislation that we can pass this session is dealing with our violent juvenile offenders.
If approved, a new law going before New Mexican legislators, co-sponsored by Andrea Reeve, would amend and strengthen laws surrounding crimes committed by youth. It's a law that Lily, an Albuquerque high school student, says she supports.
I feel like I have to constantly look over my shoulder.
If passed, the new law would expand what defines a, quote, serious youthful offender. The proposed law would label a serious youthful offender as a child between the age of 14 and 18 who is charged with second-degree murder, rape, or shooting at a dwelling, among other serious charges. It would also allow law enforcement to transport a young offender in juvenile detention to a jail facility when they turn 18. According to the bill, the jail director would be required to presume that the child is vulnerable to the adult population and would have to take steps to provide protection for the youth offender.
Now, do I absolutely believe in rehabilitation? Absolutely. We need more rehab, we need more behavioral health, we need stronger supervision of the children, we need education, we need all those things, but also at the same time, we need to keep the worst of the worst kids off the street.
Opposers of the bill argue that the state needs to address.
I don't believe in rehabilitation. I don't believe that certain people of certain IQ levels can be rehabilitated. I
On a
don't think
case by
certain
case
people who do.
basis, maybe.
I don't think. I just don't believe that certain people who do certain things can be rehabilitated. I think a lot of times what we see is a guy goes in jail and he comes out an older guy, and he's just older now.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not
usually the
rehabilitated.
case.
He's older. He's scared. Like he's been punished, so it's like he's afraid of being punished like that again. He's
I
not
agree.
rehabilitated.
He's afraid of being caught and his freedom
Yeah.
taken away. That's it. They
There
don't
you
give a
go.
fuck. Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't come up with that, but yes.
I don't believe that. I know too many dudes that are on the other side of the law, and I know a lot of good guys too, man. A lot of dynamite guys that's doing great things in life, and the bad ones, they were bad early too. Like a lot of the bad ones was bad early. They was bad in first grade. They was bullies in first grade and shit, picking on people and shit. They just what I mean, it's not like they just poverty and nothing like that. It was like they just was bad to the bone.
Yeah, my offenses were just mainly retaliation. It wasn't anything where I started it. But I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, so did you do time?
Not quite, because most of the stuff I got in trouble for was when I was a juvenile, so I didn't really do hard. But I did face something that was serious as an adult. But I had an eyewitness, pretty much told the police, what really happened, and got me out of cuffs on that one. And that one would have really sent me away for a while. But yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't believe in rehabilitation. I think that rehabilitation is rare. I think when it does happen, like I agree with Biden, when it does happen, we don't know why it happened, because all the programs that they got for rehabilitation
don't work.
They fail most of the time. They fail 99% of the time. So if somebody becomes rehabilitated, how the fuck you know what caused them to be rehabilitated?
I think the ones that are so-called rehabilitated was never actually bad to the bone.
Maybe that's true too. Yeah. I remember being in young, man, and some dudes, some boys was just bad, man. Them niggas was bad, man. And they the ones that grew up to be the bad dudes, man. It's you can chart that shit. You can trace that shit back all the way back as far as you can think, man. Like little kids that misbehaving in daycare and shit. They probably gonna grow up to be fucking thugs or something, or hoodlums or some shit like that. And then like if you have basketball and shit like that and football, and someone I'm good at that shit, then maybe they can fucking take that, like, or the military or something like that, but it's still not rehabilitated. It's just redirecting them and giving them structure. And as soon as that structure is no longer there, they revert back to their default settings.
You said the key word, structure.
Yeah. Structure is very important for some men. Some men need structure, man. Some men need it, man. We need it. That's why I say football and basketball and shit like that is great for some men. It provides structure. It provides structure. It provides that discipline and those things that because a lot of those guys that have played college football and college basketball, a lot of them would be, holding up a lamppost if they wasn't doing that shit. So it's like, yeah.
Root causes, such as focusing on rehabilitation and improving state education rather than expanding punishment. Other lawmakers are concerned this proposal could violate the offender's constitutional rights.
And I believe that's against federal regulations or statutes.
But the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office says it does not.
It is our contention that the statutes do allow people who become adults, that become 18 years old, to be housed in adult facilities, and that there's not a current federal law that violates.
Several chiefs of police also made comments during the hearing today, voicing their support. Those included statements from Santa Fe Police, Las Cruces Police, and State Police. Chandler Farnsworth, KRQE News 13.
The bill was tabled with a 3-2 vote. Representatives John
Wow.
Block and Stephanie Lord voted in favor of the bill.
3-2.
Joanne
They couldn't
Carter
pass
and
it.
Angelica
Kidding me?
Rubio, Liz Thompson voted to table it.
They couldn't pass it. Liz Thompson, some white woman, Liz Thompson, she voted to table it.
And did you notice, Ak, that the ones who wanted to push it had an R next to their name, and the ones who, didn't have a D? Like, this is, these type of politics start to become very predictable to where, like, it's really hard to really choose someone for policy when it seems like everyone that has, a political party name next to it is just gonna go with the predictable policies.
Yeah, the crime, especially now, to thumb their nose at Trump. You're gonna see a lot of that too. Like, they're just gonna vote the opposite way, no matter what it is. That's why these executive orders are so good, because you can bypass that shit.
How? Based on the information we have received, it does appear that some California state officials are collaborating with federal immigration authorities. I just needed to sign that I checked, and that's it. It seemed like a simple request by a California parole agent in Montebello. I just needed to sign that I've been here and I go and that's it. But it turned out to be a ploy designed to lure Natalie Marinero out of her home and into the custody of ICE agents.
It's hard to find the words to say how the government.
That's not bad. That's her probation officer. She's on probation. What the fuck are you doing on probation? Parole over here. You're on fucking parole? What the fuck?
It's a transformer anyway. It's a woman is not even the word.
Yeah, like, you gotta you're going, man. Fuck are you doing on parole? Yeah, you gotta go. Everybody on parole with ankle monitor, all you motherfuckers gotta go.
Called here and tricked Natalie and lured her outside.
I thought y'all was sitting this one out. I told you they can't sit it out. They gotta be in the middle of every fucking thing.
Same thing with Johnson. He's got to sit it out too. I don't know why I think he's getting kickbacks, but I'm not gonna say much about that.
Definitely. He thinks that those are his voting base. He's thinking about the next election.
Waiting for her.
It happened on Sunday, January 26th, shortly after 10 in the morning. Natalie, a transgender woman from El Salvador, was living at a New Way of Life, a facility for formerly incarcerated women. Susan Burton is the founder.
But you're a transformer.
Parole.
You shouldn't be there.
Right. To call her and say, come outside and sign papers. And then have ICE waiting for her. Just... my heart aches.
In 2005, Natalie was convicted of second-degree murder and was sent to California State Prison.
Wow. Natalie got caught in a bad situation where she was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Boy.
And for that, she paid 17 and a half years. She paid her debt to society.
And I'm sure all
and now she was trying to start anew.
Natalie paid her debt.
Yeah.
Natalie's been making great choices, really working on herself, internally, externally, like the whole package.
Susan Hefner is the housing supervisor. Both women say Natalie is a diligent worker who built a community garden at a New Way of Life. They describe her as a
Of course the Hombrito man built the garden.
Passionate person.
We love her. We're family.
Natalie, who is seeking asylum, called on the phone from a detention facility in Otay Mesa.
After you were detained, what did they tell you?
They told me that I was getting deported, and I said, "Why are you going to deport me? If you can deport me, I'm going to get tortured in my country."
I am so saddened by ICE coming and taking Natalie away. It's just horrifying to think of what will happen to her if they return her to El Salvador.
I'm Alex Michelson.
You know how many times they said Natalie in that segment to try and like feminize this person?
My goodness.
You go over the head with it, yeah.
One of the things I can't stand hearing, I own up to what I've done, but one of the things I can't stand hearing is wrong place, wrong time, and made a mistake. Oh, that's no. Sorry, I can't buy that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can buy that because I know that sons will put you in pressure where they'll make you kill them. They'll make you kill them. But as far as a lot of times, these cases are bullshit. Like they'll say it, and then you read into the case, and it wasn't the wrong place at the wrong time. You did that shit, motherfucker, on purpose. That's the only thing. But I do know, like, sons will make you kill them. Sons will put pressure on you where you have to kill them. So I mean, I as a son, I can understand, you know, somebody not wanting to be in an accidental murder or a murderer circumstance, because sons will make you kill them. It's hard not to kill niggas. It's like a full-time job not to kill niggas.
I can even say, well, I don't know about now, but Hombritos too, because again, I have a cousin that used to be a Sereno. Actually, he's dead now, but he was one, and yeah, there was some stuff that he'd had to face too, as a foot soldier of La M. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also, that Natalie transformer has cost 17 and a half years of American taxpayer money. And then all the trans hormones, all that cost as well. And they're illegal.
Yeah. And what the fuck you over here transitioning over here and you fucking killing people? Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Fuck is wrong with you, man? All that shit is turned around. Trump, the thing he's done is that he shifted the goddamn the country's zeitgeist just in a couple of weeks, because people were afraid to talk about trans people. I mean, definitely afraid. You walk on eggshells around trans people, man, the last 6 or 7 years. I mean, just like horrified, like the way you say stuff. You were thinking when you were talking about trans people, you were a million thoughts is running through your mind on how to like rephrase it and package what you were saying.
Look what happened to what's her name, J.K. Rowling, the woman who wrote Harry Potter. She's getting canceled from her own franchise. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she's not American, but still, yeah, she's still in trouble. They still in trouble over there.
Yeah, but she's powerful enough to kind of tide it, and now again, like more people are supporting her.
Because is Trump having an effect? Like, are white people saying, "Hey, look at this white man over there, man. He got
I think
balls,
more
man."
people have been saying, "Oh, we need our own Trump in the UK," and Reform as the newest party is kind of getting there. But even people are saying that we need to be more staunch. And just a quick segue. So this is how bad again we have fallen. Where the UK Prime Minister and his deputy last week, their focus was they want to make like a group to define Islamophobia, like for Desert Demons. Like they want to make a group to define it, to I guess kind of enshrine it in law, just as you have anti-Semitism, what Islamophobia is. I was like, why are you doing this for Desert Demons? You're UK Prime Minister.
That is so great.
We are meant to be, for all intents and purposes, a Christian country, and you are trying to make a subgroup to define Islamophobia for Desert Demons.
I got a question about the Tony Robinson guy. How
Tommy.
is he now, or is it Tommy Rob? Why do I keep going Tommy Robinson? How like what was it about him that people, villainized him and stuff, and now suddenly he seems to be gaining support. Not seems like from the black population in London. What is it about him?
Doesn't have the black support. What he has is he's always been like a nationalist, like British nationalist, English nationalist, and he was with like the English Defence League, which I think they were just nationalists, but obviously they put them as a xenophobic, racist group. So he was with that. So he moved away from them, and just with all this Palestine marches that we've been having since October 7th, he has been doing like stand up for Britain marches, like pulling like the average, like true Englishman to come to, our city centre, Whitehall, Westminster Parliament, and march. So he has been doing that regularly. And what he's been highlighting with that is like the police response to those marches is very aggressive. They're arresting people. But the police response to the Palestinian marches is very like, they can be spewing everything, burning UK flags, and they will not be touched. So even just in doing that, he is highlighting the fact that, hey, these people are in our country. They're getting everything. They're not even, it's two-tier policing as well. That's the thing that came out of it. Like, basically, if you support Britain, if you support England, it's almost like an FU. But if you don't, England would just allow you to do whatever. So that's what he's highlighted. And because he's getting the average English person to almost, as Ak was saying, kind of be confident in their nationalism now, he's being used as a political prisoner. So they're trying to get him out for contempt of law. I think he's in prison for contempt of law.
Wow.
Right now. So yeah.
Is it safe to say that you can't spell cuck without the UK?
Right.
True.
So salute to my man Douglas Chunks, man. Douglas Chunks in the building coming through, man. Shout out to Douglas Chunks, man. Yeah, y'all are funny. I like watching y'all over there because y'all are tied in the knots over this shit. Like it's like y'all just like y'all can't like find y'all direction. Y'all kind of like somebody lost in the woods and shit. And now we found our direction, and we're walking in the right direction. We're walking towards the goal.
Yeah.
And it's like y'all are like completely lost in the woods. It's just crazy watching.
You just got a life vest, and someone's pulling yourself out, and we are basically drowning. We have 30 seconds of air left.
Exactly.
What happened was it went with the alphabet without the T, and then it segued into the Harry Potter author, and then it segued into like London and stuff after that.
But yeah, no, as I've always said, every time I've been up here, our biggest issue is desert demons, and yeah.
Desert demons. Oh, I get it now.
Wow.
Wow. Do Patrick Christie on GB News. I think you reacted to him last week. He's really good.
UK. Isn't there a film that's supposed to be called London is Falling that's coming out? Because somebody typed in UK is falling in the chat.
Hello and welcome. I'm Alex Armstrong, and this is GBN Originals. Picture the scene. A group of children playing innocently at school. A young woman walking home, fresh-faced and full of promise. A father finishing his shift, heading home to see his family. Normal people living their lives in a country that is supposed to protect them. And yet, within moments, their lives are snatched away in brutal, senseless acts of violence that were entirely preventable. The UK state is failing to protect its own people. Not because it lacks the power, not because it lacks the resources, but because it lacks the will. It lacks the courage to make tough decisions that would ultimately save lives. And what's the result? Blood on the streets. Blood on their hands. Well, let's talk about Axel Rudikabana, the Southport killer. This wasn't some unknown random threat. He was on the watch list. He had a history of violence. He was known to be obsessed with school shootings. He attacked another pupil at school. He was caught carrying a knife. He was even referred to the PREVENT program, the very system set up to stop extremism before it turns deadly. But what did authorities do? Well, they dropped him from the watch list, didn't they? They let him go. And then he walked free and butchered innocent young girls in a dance class. Young children. Let's let that sink in for a second. They had dreams, they had futures, they had their whole lives ahead of them. But now they're gone because the British state is too spineless to do what needs to be done. And I don't think this is an isolated case either. Just Grace O'Malley, Barnaby Webber, Ian Coates, all stabbed to death in the streets, murdered by Valdo Calacane, a man who was so obviously a danger to society, his own doctors failed 4 times to ensure he took his own medication. 4 times.
So that case, sorry to interrupt,
they had to act.
Was
4
basically
times.
these 2 freshmen. I think it was like they'd done exams. So picture this, freshmen just partying, post-exam partying. You've literally finished your school year and basically going home the next week. And this guy at 4 a.m. essentially stabbed them, slit their throats. Like they were walking back home from a night out. And they were best friends and he slit their throats. And then,
Girls? Or were they women?
No, one was a boy, Barnaby was a boy, Grace was a girl.
She's talking about those two.
Yeah, so slit their throats. They were literally going home a few days later, slit their throats, went on the run in the town. The whole town of Nottingham was on lockdown. Then they found him, arrested him, and then it came out that like he's in, I don't know, I can't remember if he's illegal, but definitely all the quotation marks, mental health issues, and he was just known. So yeah, that was I think 2 years ago now.
Damn.
But yeah, it was very painful when it happened.
They're black though. Like, do people are people noticing that like a pattern over there, or they ignoring that too? The pattern.
Oh, we're noticing a pattern. It's just as you said, if you say it, you get cancelled.
Yeah, but like the pattern is so obvious. It's not like some of them. It's like all of them are either Muslim or African. All of them, right?
Yeah. And
So
I've
like
just
that-
put, because I prefer Patrick, I've just put 2 things in the back chat. Patrick's kind of faster with it than this guy. But yeah, it's painful because you can see. I mean, I literally, even just when I say, oh, I remember the good old days, that's just me talking about the 90s and the 2000s when this problem wasn't that obvious. And it was more white people. Just life was better, and now it's basically a hellhole.
Yeah, it just seems like even though you could get canceled, it's like all of it. So like, you know how they say here they say 13% doing 50% of the crime, even though it's more than that, but still, let's just say that, right? It's over there, it's like 13% doing like 99%.
Yeah.
Damn. I remember the last time I was in London. It was in I want to say 2011 where they had the riots. Man, a lot of stuff I be hearing is like, "Are you taking a piss, bruv? What are you doing to my ends, bruv?"
Yeah, I would say you taking the piss or you taking the biscuit.
What does that mean?
So are you actually taking the piss?
It means like you're not really taking a piss. It's
Yeah, it's are you being serious? Like I don't know how to explain it.
and their ends
Or
is
are
like,
you
what are you doing in
joking?
my?
Are you being serious? Like, are you taking the piss?
Another thing I hear is their ends is like, what are you doing in my hood?
That's gang speak, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure even 2011 Art of Will, that you would see a difference from 2011 to what you've maybe seen on the news now in terms of London and how it's degenerated.
Oh, I've heard it's worse. Like I
Yes.
can never see myself revisiting there. No offense. I've seen everything I wanted
No,
to see
no
over
offense
there.
taken.
Like,
So when did you go there before 2011? That was your first time?
That was my very first time and last.
Labour unveiled plans to make it easier for illegal immigrants to stay in Britain. Oh, and they don't even want you to call them illegal immigrants anymore. So in America, Trump is sending illegals to Guantanamo Bay.
Today, I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people.
So many illegals are now fleeing that Mexico can't cope, which is hilarious because now the left are complaining that it's unfair to ask any country to accept a massive influx of people surging across their border.
Mexico cannot cope. Not sure any country can, but Mexico can't cope with like a sudden influx of millions of people. I mean, as much as she wants to embrace.
Would you believe that?
I'm so sick of these liberal women, man.
How did she have the audacity to say that? That's insane.
It's because the West, as I said, America, UK, Canada, Australia, they are seen as airports. Anyone and everyone can go there. Everyone is there. And they're just holding bays where you don't really have to pledge allegiance. You don't really have to conform to the laws of the society. You can be there talking about back home, your original country. You can be there working, sending money back, and you can go out and in anytime and no one holds you accountable. So why would they care?
Wow.
Them, to use her word, when they come back and make them feel welcome. It all sounds very nice when you're listening to it, but the reality of that is just completely unsustainable. A lot of these people have lived in the US for decades. They have lives there. They have families. They're good standing citizens. So
Yeah, and they're illegally, aren't they? In Germany, they've just voted to block asylum seekers at the border, enact major new border controls, and limit legal immigration. Germany's getting tougher. In Italy, they were deporting people to Albania. They've just restarted that. They're going to send them for processing. And their leader, Giorgia Meloni, has been very clear about telling illegal immigrants about what awaits if they try to enter her nation.
And so I want to send a clear message to those who want to enter Italy illegally. It doesn't pay to rely on human traffickers because they ask a lot of money, they put you on boats that are often not equipped to make those trips. And in any case, if you enter Italy illegally, you will be detained and repatriated. Our situation doesn't allow for anything else.
Crystal clear. And Italy now says it stopped 200,000 people from crossing the Mediterranean. France, just last week, they clamped down as well. They are making it much more difficult for illegal immigrants and asylum seekers to ever get legal status to remain.
France is tightening its policies on undocumented migrants. On Friday, French Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau circulated an official memo to departmental and regional officials which will restrict their capacity to grant them legal status.
Whereas over here in Britain, the Attorney General, appointed by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, has just pledged total lifelong allegiance to the ECHR, the same body that keeps telling us we can't deport foreign rapists and paedophiles because of their human rights.
Now, I'm proud to say that since taking office, this new United Kingdom government has taken steps to uphold our obligations and the international rules-based system. The new United Kingdom government will never withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights or refuse to comply with judgments of the court.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But here's the news of the day. Labour has tabled changes to the illegal immigration bill. Currently, anyone who enters Britain illegally cannot ever claim asylum, and there is a duty to deport them. Now, Labour want to remove that. Why on earth do they want to do that? How can they say this?
Serious answer is to smash the gangs. We have to take those gangs down, to smash the gangs that are running this vile trade, to smash these gangs.
And then change the law to incentivise illegal immigrants to come to Britain. The more subtle change here is that this means technically everyone coming across the channel would be an irregular migrant, not illegal, despite breaking into Britain. They say they want to smash the gangs, but they have put a huge sign on the White Cliffs of Dover saying, come on in, lads, you're all welcome. Doesn't make any sense. The Tories betrayed Britain with the Boris wave of millions of foreign nationals and their relatives, and it does appear that Priti Patel isn't sorry about that.
said
Would you like to
that.
apologise to all the
I
people that
have
voted
not.
Brexit for the fact that you misled them and saying we're going
I
to
did
take
not
back control of
mislead
our
them.
borders, and then you threw them open
That's
and
not
let in
true.
millions of people?
That is totally distortionary, and that's not true. And to be quite frank, we made it quite clear it'd be people from the rest of the world, people with skills based on our economy. And I think people should apologise for those who are saying that actually
You'd like an apology?
We people in the pandemic came here, health and social care visas. What would have happened to our NHS? Are we now saying? Are you and others
She's
saying?
trying to say that if it wasn't for foreigners
goodness.
came there during the pandemic, they wouldn't have made it.
Is it me, or are these people a bunch of bell ends? Oh my gosh.
These people are fucking crazy, man.
Hey, Ak, I sent you a link. You're gonna like this one. It's gonna show you what Poland is doing about it. This one you'll like.
Yeah, but I mean, just think about it. Because the prime minister, I mean, he's married to a Juice wife anyway, and I think his surname is Juice Screw. But just trying to decriminalize the status of illegal immigrants, because there was the whole thing, I think, a fortnight ago that you can't call them aliens, and now you can't call them illegals; they have to be irregular, and also trying to create a group to define Islamophobia so it can be enshrined in law. I mean, it's like our direction is written in the clouds of where we're going.
You don't have the one you just put. It doesn't have. I can't watch it. It says it's not available.
Oh my goodness, really? Oh,
yeah.
Sucks. See if I can. Let me see if I'm able to find it in another way, because that's a good one. I'll find it.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing about the European countries as well that Patrick was mentioning is the whole point of the European Union and the Schengen zone was the free movement of people. And the first time they shut everything down was during lockdown, where suddenly they remembered what their borders were and were saying that you can't come into Italy, from outside because of COVID. So this is like the second big time they're now remembering they have borders. Whereas they were pissed off at us for leaving because we were saying we want to protect our borders. And now they're trying to protect their borders from illegals when the whole point of the Schengen zone is free movement of people between every European country in the Union. So there's so much hypocrisy just flitting around.
Wow. Salute to everybody. Any final thoughts, man?
Just me, what I always say to people in the chat, that if you haven't been to London, England or Europe, try and go this year, because it's kind of the last time you can see all these things in whatever semblance they are, because they are devolving quickly.
They're going to destroy everything.
Yeah. And even now they're bad from, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but at least you can still see kind of some semblance of what Great Britain was. We're not great anymore, we're just Britain. Heathrow Airport, Britain. But try and go to Europe this year. If you are thinking of traveling, try and go to all these countries.
No thanks, but
yeah. So yeah, there was a nickname I had for London. Somebody put down London as Pakistan. I called it Londonistan.
Yeah, Londonistan. Yeah. It's such a shame. It makes me want to cry. It's so sad.
Iconic. You got any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, I just want to say, fuck immigration, legal or illegal. Fuck the Mexicans. Fuck this low IQ to no IQ ooga boogas. Anywhere they going, it's just fuck them.
Damn.
All right, man. You heard it there, man. Same black time, same black channel. I'm out of here. Peace out.
You guys have a good one.